Yes, yes. The boys are back.
Oh,
I was on a dolo mission. I was left alone stranded on the island.
I was on an island.
I was looking. I had Wilson with me doing the podcast. This Irish Billy abandoned his pal. This B had his gnarly hooves in some sand.
It's gnarly hooves.
The cloven hooves of B. I was here, Philly, holding it down. Did the whole episode by myself. You know,
I think there was a 7-minute breakdown that someone did.
it's true. It's true. This is episode 100. We have prepared nothing for the 100th episode.
Yeah!
We have done
Hang on.
nothing.
I'm shooting confetti over here.
Confetti. It
There
looks
you
like
go.
you're whacking something off.
CN. You're drinking hot coffee. Billy's jerking off on camera. I mean, this is great.
Yeah, this is getting off to a good
this
start.
is
For
getting-
100. This is how you do a 100 show.
Yeah.
That my
I'm sick as a
Habibi,
dog. I'm way high on cold medicine. I
my
took everything
Habibi
just
at
to
the
get through
Dunkin'
this.
put like 43 packs of sugar in this thing.
I do no sugar in my
Can't
coffee.
do it. Can't do it.
I'm sweet enough Turkish.
Wow.
what
Apparently, if
Flip
you're
Top
a connoisseur, you don't put anything in coffee. Because
I do a splash of milk.
Stallone and Musa are coffee snobs, and whatever I drink, they give me this poo-poo look. But I'm not a connoisseur. I drink it when I'm tired. That's
You don't
it.
you don't squeeze a little lemon rind in your espresso?
I just heard, it's really weird that you said that greaseball shit. I heard that squeezing lemon in just your regular coffee is really good for appetite suppression.
Yes.
So I just told, I went to dinner. My birthday, my brother's wife's birthday are close, and they were away. So we went out for dinner.
Yeah, there's a happy birthday wish in order to you there, Winnie the Paz.
Nah. It's
Happy
like
birthday.
Larry David. You have a week. You got a week. And then
I was off
it's
last
over.
week, and
Nah,
you know,
you're out, right, Billy? It's a guy.
Well, you're only
A
6
week?
days. A whole
No,
week.
that's-
week's a
You're
little
at
bit.
6 days,
That's
right?
that's the
I'm gonna
Larry.
say
in the
this. I'm gonna say this. 2 days. You
Yeah,
got the
no.
birthday,
I
the day
agree.
after,
That was
and the day
that's
after
Larry
that,
David's. That's Larry David's New Year's rule,
Happy
right?
New Year.
Yeah.
It's a little late.
Look, Billy froze again.
Just that cheap, bad Jersey Wi-Fi. See what happens when you move? When you do the move, you do the move. You get out of Philly because you don't respect our city, and you move to South Jersey. This is what happens. You start liking bad food. You become a Metagon, and your
what
Wi-Fi
bad
is
food?
Who said I was ever not a Metagon?
right, but you married in. You married in.
True.
Hold on. So
True.
what happens with the food? Because from what I understand, this Angelo's actually comes from South Jersey.
It does. My
And
mom
they-
was the one who was like first hip, like before Philly hipsters got, you know what I mean? When it was over there. Because my one aunt moved like years. I'm talking literally years ago. I don't think I was born. That's how
Cool
long ago
aunt.
she moved. Yes.
I know.
I'm not being facetious. I don't even think I was born. And my mother was like,
It says 110 years ago.
right, 109. Yo, my whole family's like, yo, they changed. Like the water changed then. As soon
got
as you go
civilized.
there, Cousin Pasquale, you can throw a baseball at Cousin Pasquale's house from where we ate before the Boots fight, right? I'm not being facetious. You could throw, a football or baseball at it, and he moves the Brigantine.
Oh, I love me some Brigantine. I just
on the water, B. Like when you're grilling on the water.
I rented a house down there once.
That's where he lives, and you're like,
A lot of
I'm
fun.
gonna step out and get some air, and you're on the water. So pre-fight AC fights, bro. That's why when you said, "Yo, I gotta drop," that they're gonna start bringing fights back here.
Right,
I was
right.
like, me, you, and Irish Billy, and Handsome Lanny, and Pasquale's.
I like that,
dude. That Lenny the Hunk. I'd go down to the beach with that guy.
I know you would. All right, guys. Yo, it's our 100th show, which jokes
Yo.
aside, I'm proud of it. It's a good.
Yeah, I
Thanks for
can't believe we
listening.
did it.
We wouldn't still be here if it wasn't for you guys that listen. So that's really the only thank yous we should have is for people listening to us, three maniacs. Billy, did you place any bets?
No.
What?
No, I was going to hit you up.
There was really nothing, B, that, we always talk about the infamous 10.5. Did you notice that's where it was?
Mm-hmm. No, today got close. The Nakatani fight.
Yes.
Plus 500, 1 through 6 knockout.
I didn't see that line because I don't check if we're not talking to
Billy. One of my good friends and a friend of the show and a friend you guys have met.
Oh, he's a sick maniac.
He was sweating fucking bullets today. Yeah, he was like, "Come over to my house, we'll hang out," and I'm like, "What'd you put money on?" Because he likes to be with someone to distract him, so he doesn't sit in front of the TV and
like a
freak
sick
out.
animal.
He's a sick animal.
All right, so I didn't know this happened, guys.
Oh, by the way, CN. That's it.
Oh yeah,
100.
episode. Yeah, this is episode 100 of Knock 'Em Out the Box. Thank you guys so much for listening to
very anticlimactic.
2-3 main. That's what I'm saying. We should have done some or a live
no, I'm
show.
saying no, like 99 in Spanish. 99.
Oh,
100 is like CN.
Yeah, no, I get you. It's very especially for a beautiful language.
Right, and for us, it's like 100.
Right, yeah. Everyone's all riled up.
Yeah.
B, if you knew, tell me. Danny Garcia had a card in Philly Saturday night.
Yeah, my friend Mike called it.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. So because of Beterbiev-Bivol, I was too wrapped up to know that. But I will say this: I live here, so it was poorly promoted.
Yeah.
In regards to me having no idea.
I think he's just getting his feet wet. But he's
that's cool. I'm not dissing it. He's got the DSG. He's been throwing a bunch of stuff.
They gave away a Kia in a
Did they?
raffle. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. What I didn't know is that Carmel Moten was on there. 18-year-old Carmel Moten,
who looks like he's 35, by the way. He grew a beard and mustache out.
Yes, and there's certain pictures where he looks like a baby.
AI.
Right. There's certain pictures where he's got the baby face when he, clean shaven.
Yeah.
But
when he cut weight and grew a beard and mustache out, and I was like,
that camp look that
I'm not IDing this guy for beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Scored a first round knockout over a kid named Moreno Martinez. Moves to 6-0 with 5 KOs. I just wanted to say real quick because I just went down the mini 6-fight rabbit hole and just watched all his stuff. Because I've only seen him like on 2 cards before so far.
Mm-hmm.
So up until now, he had 5 fights and I'd only seen 2. So I would just real quick. Of all these guys that turned pro super young, like in your teens, like that. Like Pepino Cuevas, Wilfredo Benitez, Barrera.
Yeah.
He's the best I've seen since then. This is the best young kid I've seen since then. Body shot. He went downstairs, then up top when he stopped the guy.
Yeah,
he's good, man. And 18 is scary because 24 is young. So think of him in 6 years,
Well, yeah. Well, they're saying I saw something today like about Junto Nakatani. We'll get to him later. That like.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still only 20, and I'm like, he's only 26. You know what I mean? Like, yes, 18 is young, and the aforementioned degenerate former boxer, who's I'm very close with, saw him live at Mayweather Gym, I think last year, and called me from there, and was like, "Yo, there's this kid. That kid Moten is in here now, and he is destroying people in this gym." There was like a gym war while he was there. And he said,
there have been people that have come around, Panchito Bajado, and it flamed out.
Yep.
Some guys like that. Haney turned pro really young. I'm not getting into that, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
I think
Canelo took a long time to
to get to where he was Canelo. Yeah. This kid is 18 and looks polished. I don't mean he's ready for the world, but it's going to be quick. It's not going to be 25.
He's going to be like a 20. He's going to be like a 22-year-old.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's going to have a belt by 21.
Yeah.
Cool. Artur Beterbiev and Beterbiev-Bivol have both welcomed an immediate rematch. Of course, we're getting to that later, but just wanted to get that out of there.
Love it.
The WBO
It deserves it.
Agreed. The WBO have now officially ordered Janibek Alhimala
Nice
to defend his IBF and WBO middle welterweight titles versus, do you know who, B? You're going to be happy. Hamza Shiraz next.
Yeah. So
parties have 15 days to agree to a deal, then purse bids. Talk to me, B. What's going to happen?
So Shiraz wants it bad, and
Ayo.
That's a episode 100, Ayo.
Right.
Shiraz wants that fight badly. One of the criticisms of Janibek and his handlers is that they find these mandatories that no one's ever heard of. Like, let's be honest, the guy last week, no business should he have been in the ring with anybody at the level of Janibek. This is it. This is what we need right now.
Agreed.
Shiraz, I find Janibek to be quite crude, actually.
I think it's the exact word I used on my Dolo mission. I think I used crude. I did say, B, when he creates space, you can see some of that pedigree. He doesn't do it enough, and I don't know why.
He's got a good left hand. His jab is pawing. It's just a rangefinder.
Exactly.
I think Shiraz kicks his ass. Actually,
I do too. I don't know that.
Like, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's close.
I don't either.
I think he's gonna kick the shit out of him.
I think I think he either whitewashes him, or stops him late because of damage. Maybe not a one hit a quitter.
Yeah,
but bust him up. We'll see.
We'll see. I love it.
Again, fantastic. I spoke on the air about you, and I spoke privately, but you were on vacation with the fam when I talked about it on air, and I said, yo, can someone explain to me why a Kazakh fighter and a guy from New Zealand are fighting
in Australia?
In Australia. Can someone explain it? I want to say Shane hit me up.
Excuse me.
Regarding it. And he was like, yeah, it's weird. So if an Aussie says that,
you
know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know. So hopefully, I don't know, where do we want to see that? I mean, so Top Rank going to bid? And then I want to see that in the States, man. But is there going to be some argument to do it?
Put it right in New York, man. And I'm not just saying that.
No, I know. I think it should be in New York. I won't be mad at Vegas, but New York or Vegas to me.
I would say New York or LA, actually, because there's a lot of Russians in, or Eastern Bloc people. And I don't know if that would get people out.
But see, Philly and New York and AC, there's lots of Russians. You know what I mean? There's lots of Russians in Chicago. You take it there. Like, I don't know, but it's look, man, you know how I feel about this daytime shit. You love it. It's probably not probably. It's most likely because of the hours we both keep.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like I didn't like today and yesterday.
Yeah.
I like which, by the way, guys, we record this Monday night. So I'm tired and I'm under the weather because I've been up since 5 a.m. watching boxing.
Yeah, we record every Monday night late, guys. So Billy and B are run down from their maniac kids and work.
So
and I'm just hitting my stride when we record.
So I like the Saturday day into evening cards a lot. I don't necessarily like the 11 o'clock start. I think that's a little, but I don't mind like 3 o'clock into, like, if it's a 4 or 5 hour card, 3 to 8. I like that.
What I like is a nice afternoon card when there's a card that night out here. Meaning the US.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because you get a double header.
Because B, my only question to you is, don't you feel like, all right, now it's over, I'm gonna like sit down with Wifey and the kids and eat, and then you want to fight, and that fight doesn't come? It's like, now what am I doing? I mean, if you're going out with the homies, it's different, but we're getting older.
Well, it's funny. Like, I think I told you I did this, right? There was a Sergey Kovalev fight. I was in Vegas for my niece's wedding, and
I can't imagine you in Vegas. What a mess!
Oh, dude, it's pretty crazy. And I'm a moron, as usual. I go to the venue at 9 o'clock Vegas time. I was gonna buy. Remember when pre-COVID, you could just go to the venue and buy tickets?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I went thinking, like, all right, get there at 9. I'll get what's left over. Maybe I'll miss 2 fights on an undercard. Right. This is 2015. I go and everyone's walking out, and I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, oh yeah, fight's over. It's 3rd round knockout. And I'm like, wait, what the? And I'm like, oh, it's West Coast time. It's fucking midnight.
You're a real fucking dick for brains. Do you know that?
It's fucking dumb. I'm thinking 9 p.m. in New York, right? That's when the show starts to, So I'm thinking of like, look at these fucking people on the West Coast are spoiled. They get their fights, like the undercard starts at 6. Everything gets hotsy-totsy around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Fights are over at fucking...
No, dummy. See, this is why you're a jerk off.
Why?
Who wants that?
Everybody.
This is a late night sport.
No, as
you're
we're
crying, this Canelo fight started at 12:30. Whoa, we need to back these off. Get out of here. What are you?
No one watches
Nancy boy?
And no one watches it, Sally.
That's a lie.
Nobody watches them.
You're a little Nancy boy.
You're a little. That's what my dad calls me.
I hit a nerve, as they say.
Nerve. Yeah.
The IBF.
Remember when you were like in junior high and your buddy calls you on the phone? Like your friends start that age. Yeah. My dad be like, "Hey Nancy, one of your boyfriends is on the
phone." Well done. I'm sure my father would have said something very similar.
Yeah.
The IBF have now officially ordered Martin Bakole versus Ajit Kabayel as a final eliminator to determine the next mandatory challenger for Daniel Dubois' IBF heavyweight world title. We love that fight. They both got heavy hands.
Yo, this is.
Here's a question. It's later in the news, but those guys, in my opinion, are going to have to wait around. Even, you know what I'm saying? Because
you're saying because there's going to be a rematch with.
Well, we're going to get to that. So, David Benavidez versus David Morrell is expected to take place on January 25th in Las Vegas. That'd be a nice little jaunt.
You know what's dope?
Take a trip. You know why? Because it's a really nice fight, but it's not a big fight. So we wouldn't be dealing with the Schmohawks that go to Floyd and Canelo events. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So much. I mean, they're always there.
Are you putting that into the universe?
Yeah. What do you call that, man? What are these? What do you call it if you're like a woke female manifesting?
Yeah, you're manifesting.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I
think Nancy boys also say that.
Sure, Nancy boys say manifesting. They do. Hey Nancy, your boyfriend's on the phone. Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury rematch, full undercard on December 25th in Saudi. This one's
it's on December 25th.
Sorry, first. Sorry.
I was like, whoa.
No, we discussed it. Remember the last one was close to Christmas, and I said, yo, both these guys are Christian and devout. And this is near, this is near
I'm
Christmas.
Fighting man, but I don't fight on Jesus's birthday.
Right. Well, no, you said something like, "No, bro, they'll get right out of there," because it was like really close.
Yeah.
Last year, this undercard's rough, except for the one banger we're gonna get. So that's what I wanted to ask you about. Is the trade-off worth 4 trash undercards?
It's that
for
bad?
The co-main. Isaac Lowe versus Lee McGregor, Dennis McCann versus Peter McGrail, Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen.
Did they literally go to an Irish bar in Philly and just pull out the guys at the bar?
No, half of them are from Philly, half of them are from New York or Staten
Island. Just do a fight in Jersey.
The only name I even know is the next
one. The Turnpike.
That kid,
up your folks.
That kid they're really hyping that I don't think is good. Moses Atalma.
Okay, right.
Versus MC McKean. So there's I think it's like 5 Staten Island Irish and 5.
And they just got Irish. Turn of the century, like whoever's got the most turn of the century name.
Dennis
McCann. We'll get you up here.
Half of them talk with that accent, like they're from there, and the other half do the American gangster from the 30s. Mash,
yeah.
What are your jokes?
Yeah, we'll get you. The goddamn Irish.
But I'll tell you what we're getting for all of that slop. Sergey Boachuk versus Israel Madrimov.
Yeah.
That has fight of the year written all over it. So the co-main is great, and Usyk Fury is going to be Usyk Fury. You know, did you see
we just get a bucket of blood underneath that?
Right? Did
You
you
know, we just get
see?
a bunch of stuck Irish pigs.
So Fury apparently said, maybe it was in print, that the first fight with Usyk that he lost was too easy. So they tell this to Usyk, and there's video of it. And I already see you cracking the smile because you know it's going to be funny. It's funnier than I could possibly even do. Oh, he think easy. Very good. It's going to be even more easy this time then for him.
Yeah.
If that's easy.
Eddie, give me my money.
Uh-huh. It's great. It's great.
I love him. I had his shirt on yesterday.
Here's a what the fuck? This guy has brass balls. Jamal Charlo versus Thomas Cornflake Lamana.
Yeah, dude.
At super middleweight is possible for the Tank Davis Lamont Roach undercard on December 14th in Houston. First off, when I would see Cornflake every weekend, all the time in AC,
yeah,
he was at 154. Then he got flattened. Oh, he looked dead against Erislandy Lara, non-a-puncher at 60. He's going up another 8.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That kid wants to eat through a straw.
Yeah, clearly. We've talked about. We both said we might not see either Charlo ever again. I don't know if
looks like we're gonna see them both.
Happening.
Did you hear about the other one? You got it in there?
No, it's not in my news. So talk to me.
Him and Demetrius Andrade is a possibility for Jermel.
At what, 68?
Uh-huh. A fight that people wanted 10 years ago, they're going to do now. This is fucking PBC. They're giving you Lamont Roach.
It is.
Tank Davis and telling you shit is sugar. Okay, they're going to give you the undercard is Charlo's triumphant return against Cornflake at 68. So he's now I guess he's went from 50 to undisputed at 54 on our pound for pound.
Yes.
To a Canelo fight, which no one wanted because his brother didn't take it. And now he's just bypassed the 60 and fighting at 68.
Yes.
Yeah, that the whole thing, the whole plan that I had mapped out with those fucking people and fucking what's his face? Errol Spence. Remember? I said they're all gonna move in succession.
Mm-hmm.
Jermel's gonna go to 60.
Yeah.
Jamal will go to Jermel's gonna go to 68. Jamal will go to 60.
Yes.
Spence will go to 54.
Yes.
I said, so that way they don't have to fight each other. Obviously, twin brothers aren't going to fight.
Of course.
And I don't know if it's booze or whatever
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the one mugshot is like neck and neck with the Gary Busey and Nick Nolte ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yes.
The bloated face, I'm a drunk bloated face, hair all banged up.
Yeah.
Rayo Valenzuela versus Pitbull Cruz rematch for Rayo's WBA super lightweight world title is reportedly likely to take place on the David Benavidez, David Morrell undercard. No idea why we need to see that again. Happy for Rayo if it's a little bit of a payday.
I don't love that. And he passed up a Tank fight. I guess the Tank fight was going to be at 35. He didn't want to go back 35. But the whole thing, Robert Garcia playing politics, being like, oh, he's going to sit out for a while. He had 2 quick camps. And
I don't think they're doing him any favors. That's just my opinion. There's very few, we know this, we talk about this. There's very few cash cows in this sport.
Right.
You know what I mean? At its peak, there wasn't tons. You know what I mean? I mean, when it was the fight, when it was the biggest sport in the country, there wasn't many. You wanted that Tyson bag. You wanted that Ray Leonard bag.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like at its peak, there's 5 guys.
And then there's a huge dip off after that.
And then there's a massive drop. You know what I mean?
Speaking of
I remember thinking Chris Algieri's payday for Pacquiao wasn't enough, in my opinion, for a guy who fought real guys. Yeah. You know what I mean? Someone, I'm not going to say what it was, It's, you know what I mean? If people look it up, then they look it up. But
Yeah.
he's a friend of yours. You know what I mean? I've said hello, met him a couple times. I love Chris Algieri. I've said on the air that Chris Algieri and Paul Malignaggi are the two best in the game at what they do. I put them against anyone now, right now in 2024. And I believe Paulie Malignaggi is the best fighter turned announcer of all time.
I think
Sebastian,
he'll get into Canastota on that.
so do I. Sebastian Fundora, speaking of, you just brought up, Sebastian Fundora versus Errol Spence is a done deal and will be happening next after Crawford and Fundora make an agreement which allows Fundora to have a voluntary defense versus Spence before revisiting the ordered fight with Bud. I said it's likely we never see Spence again. I'm not 100% gonna say, I was wrong. Not yet. Like, I need to see this happen to believe
right.
it.
Are we
Those type of guys that never make it to the ring for whatever reason? Like, it's I'm still there. I'm not right now with a fight said done deal. Right now, I'm 50-50 that we see that in the ring.
With you.
Why do we both think that? We've given the reasons. He got destroyed, and then other stuff adds to that. You sent me the picture of him in the ring the one time. He's a welterweight. He had to be 220 pounds, right? That one pick
looked huge.
Huge, bloated.
And again, I don't know if it was. It went around the internet. I mean,
yeah. He's like draped in jewelry. He's in the ring with someone. It might have been a tank fight. I'm not sure. It might have been a Charlo fight. I'm not sure. But you immediately send it to me because we were watching that fight. I just, when you see someone and they cut to them and they're sitting down and they just do like the fist thing. I saw him do that. And it's like hard to tell when you're just looking at someone from a certain angle. You know what I mean? So I didn't think much of it. If I thought anything, guys put on some weight. They don't look like they look at the weigh-in because they're drained. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Teofimo Lopez has reportedly sent legal letters sent to his promoter, Bob Arum's Top Rank, claiming his promotional contract is invalid. And so he should be a free agent. It's claimed Top Rank insists the contract is valid and has multiple fights left. I have had enough with this guy.
Dude,
if we're forced to cover him, I guess we have to, because we talk about
a racist piece of shit.
He is. He's a real piece of shit. That thing he said, what a piece of shit.
Yo, he said something.
He said that thing about the banana thing, which is clearly, I'm not even going to repeat something so disgusting about two, black fighters. So get the fuck out of here. He made the comment like that before when he said Top Rank can keep their black fighters or something.
And then he said then he apologized for it and then doubled down on this. He's a fucking scumbag.
He's a real low life piece of shit. He also
went on Cam and Mace's podcast and claims he's never cleared $1 million from a Top Rank from any of his fights with Top Rank. And I think it's like factually incorrect that he's had multiple paydays, well over $1 million. I think to the tune of like 2.1 or something like 2.2. He's just, you never know what the fuck this guy is going to do.
Those people, it doesn't have to be sports. It could be in our personal lives where you go, this motherfucker, he's one of them. It's always something. If you see the TEO and of his name, you know it's going to be some shit. It's never it's never to announce a great fight. It's never that
you're telling me that they didn't pay him he's trying to tell us that for the Josh Taylor fight he didn't get $1 million.
Yeah, come on, man, stop.
For the Kambosos fight, which I think was all over the place. I think the purse bid on that was he was set to make a couple. I mean, dude, what are you talking? Either that or your dad's stealing your fucking money.
Either that or you have your father's the lowlife that we already know he is, but we never called him a thief. Or your accountant or something. You're getting, you're getting Mike Tyson.
Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you can Google yourself and find out what you made.
I mean, he is a dumb fuck. So
he is a fucking asshole, that guy. Jesus. I don't want to see him. Actually, unless he's in the ring, I don't want to see him, hear him, or otherwise. But yeah, like you said, we have to cover him.
And I'm not much of a fan of him in the ring, to be honest. He's so up and
super
down.
Inconsistent.
He's super up and down. A Steph Fulton Brandon Figueroa rematch is reportedly now set for the Tank Davis Lamont Roach undercard on December 14th.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, it's good. Daniel Dubois has welcomed the Anthony Joshua rematch next. If he wants it, I want it too. I was the better man on that night, but there's no disrespect. I'm not going to badmouth him or anything. It was a great fight, and if we can do it again, it'll be even bigger. He also says that he has unfinished business with Alexander Usyk. With Usyk, it's definitely unfinished business, and next time I fight him, it will be a totally different outcome. I'll go right through him. I've improved massively. I do believe he's improved massively. I don't know about the rest of it. So my guess is that AJ and Dubois run it back. We both spoke about not liking that for AJ. We'll definitely be covering it and we'll definitely be watching it.
Sure.
So it was the last show with you, which would have been 2 weeks ago. I said, I'm hearing through people I know that Loma is, he might be done.
I think that was like three shows ago.
Three shows. Yeah. So close to a month ago, I told you guys that I heard from someone in the camp. No, tell a friend, tell a mundo. Correct. It is now known via his camp that he is now contemplating retirement from boxing. So you and I have said, look, we're celebrating our 100th episode. I'd say maybe 30 times we've said, if you're thinking about it and you're 1 foot out, you're out.
You're out.
So right. I don't want to see anything like him against a lower level guy. If he decides to fight again, it should be huge. You know what I mean? It's Tank or bust, or whoever has all the belts or bust, in my opinion, and then go out.
Sure.
But if he doesn't, you've brought up many times accurately, this is someone who's been out the womb doing this. So it's not like, oh, he has 21, only has 21 fights. Yeah, he's got 400 amateur fights.
Olympics.
2 Olympic gold medals.
2 Olympics.
Been doing, yeah. Come on, man.
It's 2 Olympic games.
The Rafael Espinosa versus Robesi Ramirez rematch for Espinosa's WBO featherweight world title is now agreed to take place next. Yes. It's known the plan is for this to be on the same card as Emmanuel Navarrete versus the Oscar Valdez rematch. For Navarrete, WBO super featherweight world title on December 7th. Does Navarrete showing at 135, it doesn't have any effect on you not needing to see that?
Don't need to see it. I think Oscar Valdez is Shotsky. I think he's a part-time fighter at this point. Freddie Roach said a long time ago about part-time fighters. He's old for his age. He's over 30 now, right? Valdez?
He's around it, but he's had a tough
let me look him up real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey, look, while you're looking it up, I just want to say to you, the only thing that's interesting, that makes it interesting to me, is Navarrete going
33.
Up. Yeah, that's an old 33, bro. Oscar Valdez. He's got a 40-year-old body, guys, in terms of what the sport has done to him.
Right.
And you're not talking about a defensive whiz here.
No, dude, he's a face-first fucking brawler.
Yeah, he was fun to watch,
Absolutely.
I think we might see a little bit of fireworks there for as long as it lasts, because Navarrete went up, and looked not like the guy that we have been calling for a few years now at 35. Yeah. I'm just saying. It could be. I get what you're saying. I do. I really do. If the guy's shot, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
If he's got a little gas left in the tank, I think that might be one of those surprise wars. Maybe one that only goes 8, but an 8-round bloodbath.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? But I can see you're not feeling that.
Not at all, dude. And I'm going
to take that fight. I'll take that card, because Robesi's our guy.
I like Robesi, and that
Robesi Ramirez, guys. We keep saying it to you. He's really, really good. He's got one of those Loma records, like 13-2, and you go, whoa, this guy's got 2 losses, and da-da-da-da-da. Look, these guys come out of the Cuban program. In Loma's case, the amateur program of the Ukraine. They're very high-level guys. All of their losses, there's an asterisk to them, literally.
Yeah, I mean, he lost his pro debut, but Rafael Espinosa, man, that's the cheat code.
Yeah, but yeah, it's true. But when you're 9 feet tall, fighting at that weight,
Right.
you know, it's basically the two
6'1".
cheat codes.
Fuck, man.
Huh?
He's 6'1".
It's insane. It's really insane. He's more of a cheat code than Fundora.
I really want to do a breakdown of that.
Yeah, I can't wait. And it's that's not far away. December 7th, what, 6 weeks?
It's
8
gonna go
weeks?
quick. Yeah.
Yeah, time is flying, bro.
Flying.
It's mid-October. The weather's breaking, which I love. Eddie Hearn, I'm OB. This is for you because I made this statement and put my foot down about something. And I'm now breaking it. So I'm giving you an opportunity to break my balls. Because we debated talking about those two bozo brothers when they fight, because they're events that people talk about. And I really got it wasn't ball busting. I got serious. And I was like, no, P, I'm not talking about them. If you want to, I'll just mute my mic. But a guy we're a fan of cut a promo, and I cannot not take this opportunity to say this.
Okay.
And then a little clap after. I wish I had the effects. Billy should have effects.
You should have effects.
But
Billy and Pablo should both be doing the show.
He's drinking booze somewhere. Look at that face.
Episode. What are you mad about?
I can't get any effects.
100.
Imagine what he's doing when his
episodes has Billy done? Like 70?
I'd say 50.
How many has he talked on? No, more than that.
That's it.
Well, that's why he hates him so much.
Have we dug up any of the lost episodes? I would love to replay the first episode for the fans.
Yeah, but we can put it up on YouTube or put up, you know what I mean? Or
do you have it
anywhere? Shaking his head.
Because everything you guys are saying involves me doing more work.
He's lazy.
Oh my!
He hates us. He hates this podcast. He hates the listeners.
We've offered, by the way, because it's the 100th episode, I can divulge this now. We've offered Billy at least a dozen times, hey, get more involved. The fans like you. Do this, do that. And he fucking no-sells us every time. He
doesn't just no-sell. He no-sells like Brody did Luger.
Yeah.
He's fucking hitting us with live rounds in return. He's not like, thanks, guys.
No,
thanks. It's just not my thing. He's throwing live rounds.
It's like, fuck you. I want nothing. I don't know anything about boxing. I'm like, well, that's the charm.
No one knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
YouTube, Lex Luger, Bruiser Brody. Brody is not having Luger on any level, starts no-selling him and just beats the shit out of him for real.
For real, yeah.
Love that.
That's what Billy's doing to us.
That's what you do to us. That's
Bruiser Billy.
We asked for
Billy.
we asked for one. I asked for one thing that I thought would be a nice idea for 100th anniversary, 100th episode, whatever you want to call it. Hey, why don't you release the first episode that maybe 6 people?
This is more work for me. Do you know what a click it be? Honestly, I know nothing about technology.
I'd want to release the screenshot of when B fell asleep while we were recording.
I have
that's what we're gonna release.
You want to release it? Okay.
I have it.
Well, now you spoke it. Now you just spoke it into the universe like an asshole.
Right. I have it.
And
I made it, Billy. Now you can make things a sticker.
Yep.
I made it a sticker, so it's in my drawing.
Yep.
But now Billy just said, "Oh, this mother."
Billy might enjoy. Billy, would you like to stay along for this piece? This is we hate people. A bit of news, not like a boxing piece of news. You sat right near handsome Eddie. I saw you in all of his handsomeness, Billy, when we were at press row at the Boots fight. Eddie Hearn has said he will leave the. Sorry, he's just funny. Eddie Hearn told me Eddie Hearn said he will leave the stadium after Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano 2 on November 15th and won't watch Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I think it's a huge shame that one of the biggest legends of the sport comes back 20 years after everybody knew he shouldn't be boxing anymore. At 55 or however old he is. He's 58? Jesus Christ, he's nearly 60. Like, you have no respect for the sport of boxing if you put Mike Tyson in a ring at 58 years of age. And if he gets hurt, then it's on those people. I'll watch Katie Taylor and then I'll leave. I can't watch that.
Yeah. Clap,
bravo,
clap. I like
Eddie. Bravo. An addendum from Pazzi. If you buy that, You're a fucking strapper, and I don't want you listening to our show. Thank you.
Well,
You have to buy that?
Well, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
We
Of course.
we need all the fans we could get. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. That's how Billy likes to be seen.
I got it.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
You sure? You froze, and it's not not good.
It's not good. It's so bad. Oh my God.
I thought that was going to be a Netflix thing.
It is. You're right.
You're
right. Is it going to be free if you have Netflix, or is it going to get charged as a bonus? Okay.
Unless it's like the first Netflix pay-per-view, which very well could be.
No, I don't know.
Let me tell you something. Karma is a real thing. That's all I got to say. Oh, boy.
Last bit of news until we get, before we get into these fights. Turkey Al Sheikh has revealed that the planned date for the Dubois Joshua rematch and Queensberry Matchroom 5 vs. 5 is February 22nd. He said they may have another show in May, and he wants to make Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. Look, I also
is that worth reporting, by the way?
Eubank Jr. Conor Benn, like, do we have to cover it, do you mean?
Well, I mean, what happened this past weekend with them? Did you see that?
As the kids say, very cringe. That whole
dude.
What's going on with his hair, dude?
I was just gonna say, what the fuck is up with his hair? Did he get did he put like a hot comb through it?
He did. It's like the scene where Malcolm X, when he's still Detroit Red, gets
Detroit Red. Yeah.
What do you? He's a black dude with slick back hair.
Super fly.
Was the look in this in like the 50s and then the 70s, so like super fly, like you said.
That's
like,
what is
his? It's like a boof. It's like a slicked bouffant.
I didn't even know it was him.
Neither did I. And like I'm told he's like a ladies' man, and girls think he's good looking. So you better cut that shit off, unless some broad told him he looks good with it, because he looks wild. He looks like a Bollywood, like a Bollywood, like a dude that would be a Bollywood hunk, but isn't and doesn't know it. And his gear was bad, like shirt bad. So I don't know what's going on. Conor Benn had like an image. It was very London town, like goonish. You know what I mean? Like looks like he ran with the top boys. He had that look, like, trainers and a bubble jacket. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Yo, are you like an Armenian that owns a store that sells speakers?"
Yeah, he smokes like 3 packs a day and drinks coffee nonstop.
Yeah. So this didn't come to our mail, so I just wanted to use it as the last bit of news. I got it on IG. This kid writes a lot regarding boxing. He goes by Seldom Seen. Tremendous job on the Dolo tip, brother. Thanks, man. You asked for UK fans to write in about AJ Fury. It's huge regardless of their records. However, I think AJ should wait to see if Fury loses to Usyk before making the Dubois rematch. Because if he gets KO'd early against Dubois, the Fury fight isn't as big.
Okay.
So I'm following him. But that's kind of, what we wanted to hear. Is it still huge over there? And people are insisting it's still a Wembley thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, Eubank Conor, bro, I think they hate each other, and people are horny for it over there. What no one talks about is they're not even close to being the same size. This is like
2 divisions apart, 3 divisions apart, really.
This is like Boots calling out Canelo.
Yeah.
And
Crawford Canelo. Yeah, it's too far. Yeah. It's what why no one's really getting crazy about Crawford Canelo here. It's like they're too far apart. All right, whatever.
All right, so
this is just street fight, bare knuckle.
I'm with it. I'll watch it. B, you call it worse to first. In this case, it is not that, guys. There's an argument to be made that the 2 Japanese cards we're late in the year, 2 of the best cards of the year. I'll start off, B, with some stuff, and you just kick back to me your thoughts.
Yeah.
And or cut me off. You know what I mean? Either or, one or the other.
Go for it.
We'll start on Sunday morning, guys. Starts at 4 a.m. Sunday morning. ESPN Plus from the Ariake Arena in Tokyo. Kenshiro Taraji, 23-1, 14 KOs. Only loss was to Masamichi Yobuki, and he got his lick back in the rematch. So this is a guy who beat everyone he fought. Versus Christopher Rosales, 37-6, 22 KOs. It's Canelo's guy. Eddie Reynoso trains him.
He's a Nicaraguan guy, yeah.
Yes. WBC flyweight world title. We've talked about this regarding smaller guys before, B. But at this level, all of these guys are good. Like when we talk about why is Tank fighting this guy? Why is it good? With these weights? There's no hobos because there's no one down there. So you're either good or you're literally an Uber driver. There's no Rosales has 6 losses and it's still really good, a solid fighter. You see.
Big guy too.
Yeah, because it's not a glamour division, there's not really any soft touches down there. That's just what I wanted. Everyone can fight. Great jab from Taraji, upstairs and downstairs with it.
Ooh.
Landed a big right in the third that hurt Rosales bad. He started stalking, but was only looking for that big right hand, which that's...
You're saying Rosales? Yeah, or who was stalking, Taraji or Rosales?
Taraji. So he stopped jabbing, B, and stopped throwing combinations. So I'm going, what? Everything you did worked. What?
Yeah.
One of those.
He was jabbing to the belly towards the end of the fight, and then he was throwing punches. By the way, fuck Lawrence Cole.
He's
how does he get these assignments?
Absolutely historically the worst I've ever watched.
Just has to involve himself for no reason.
Has to.
These guys.
First off, why is he out of Texas? I thought we were stuck with him when we had.
Why is he anywhere?
He's going to be all over that Tank card, so we know something's going to happen. Why is he in fucking Japan? So
how did he get there?
So it's got to be. He's got to be a WBC guy.
Got it
somehow. Yeah, he stopped jabbing, stopped throwing combinations. Again, for me, one of those rare fights that was lopsided, but I still thought it was fun.
A lot of fun.
The doctor stopped it in the 11th. I wouldn't have stopped it, but he was busted up, and it wasn't close. I get it. I
thought it was a weird stoppage.
Yeah,
I would like to. They didn't give us an explanation on the broadcast. Christina Poncher and
Nico
Ali. Which, by the way, I just wanted to. I'm very critical of the commentary.
Yeah, talk about it. This Mudgy Long writes me every time someone's commentating and shits on them.
I actually, and a lot of people that I'm friends with were shitting on Nico Ali, and I kind of want to just speak up in his defense. These are the perfect cards to see who works and who doesn't work in the booth. And I want to say Nico Ali did a good job for someone who's very green. How old is he?
I can see him being good eventually at that job.
Yes. Yeah, he's trying to find his words.
I'm going to guess he's 25 under my head. I'm just taking that out of.
I thought
while you're looking it up, B, there's 4 champions.
Yes,
at flyweight. So there's unification
24.
fights to be made. 24. For Kenshiro Taraji. There's unification fights. Let's look, because there's not a lot of guys down here. Let's unify. You know what I mean? Because I don't know who is where, B, promotionally, which can be problematic. Takuma Inoue, 20-1, 5 KOs versus Faya Tsutsumi, 11-0, 8 KOs.
11-0. Hey, real quick before we go on, you notice a lot of these guys have draws. Like more. Is that a Japanese thing? Because Tsutsumi was the Japanese champion. Okay,
right.
11-0, younger guy.
8 KOs, yeah.
8 KOs. Actually, I think they're both 28. I take that back. But he had 8 KOs. So now let me ask you this, Vin. Do if you guys know, or we have fans in that part of the world, write us at kotbboxing@gmail.com. I wanted to bring it up on the show. I noticed a lot of these guys have, in America and in Europe, we don't see that many draws, right? A draw is it's almost rare.
Yeah.
I'm curious if the judging in Japan is just a little different, the way that they go about it. If if you get a draw in the States, it's almost worse than a loss. You know, we're like,
It's not
Jesus
good.
Christ. No, it's like, you know, it's
like a push if you're a gambler. You're like, that was a waste of everything. It was a waste of
right. So in Japan, is it more like they're just like, it's just an honorable thing that happened. He fought well, I fought well. I don't know their custom or their culturally what it
No,
means.
you're right. You know, I did notice that, but didn't think to write it down as a note. Yeah, if anyone knows why it seems like they have some draws.
Boxing Gmail.
I thought this was a really good fight. A lot of exchanges.
Bro, this fight was great.
Yeah, Inoue has better defense, so that gave him the edge when they mixed it up. Tsutsumi kept the pressure on. Again, Inoue's defense is good. My biggest criticism is that he spends too much time mid-range.
Inoue?
Yeah, he's good from the outside and he's good in the phone booth. But that mid-range is the Achilles heel for a lot of guys. I don't know why you want to hang out there.
Well, also guys with only 5 knockouts, right?
Yeah,
so he
exactly.
Punch. He was landing like there was, I think it was the second or third round. He landed a huge uppercut. And if he had decent power,
it could have been night-night.
Yeah.
Tsumi is a fucking goon. He kept throwing and throwing and throwing. I'm going, it's almost the Nick Ball thing where you're like, just let this guy tire himself out. He'll be cooked by the 6th. And then it doesn't happen. And you're like, fuck. We're going to talk about that regarding the supposed controversial decision later.
So but, I actually, when they were doing the introductions, right, I looked at, because again, we're not really familiar with most of these guys.
Yeah, of course.
We're familiar with Inoue because he fights on his brother's cards.
Right.
But Tsutsumi, I'm looking at the guy's face when they were doing and I'm like, to your point of him being a goon, I'm like, he's got a scar on his nose. He's got a busted nose. He's got a swollen eye already. Like, did this guy just come from a barroom brawl? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, was he sparring with no headgear like last week?
He looked beat up going into the fight. Like you said, bro, battery in his back, gas tank. I thought this was a fantastic fucking
so
fight.
Did I. I start thinking, Inoue's getting overwhelmed in the 7th and 8th. I started to see that. You know, when you see it in the guy, not just what's happening offensively from Tsutsumi, but I mean, you can see in the guy, I'm over. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to keep this guy off me. The ref called a knockdown in the 10th. Tsutsumi lands a shot, which knocks Inoue into the ropes and called that a knockdown.
All right.
Talk to me here.
I've been waiting to talk to you about this.
Talk to me about this. I was waiting for you to text me and go, what the fuck?
Are we now? That was a Japanese referee.
Yes.
Would an American ref? Okay, now we've heard commentators scream, yell, and holler. The ropes held him up. The referee should score that a knockdown. Not scored a knockdown. That's egregious. Japanese referee scores it a knockdown, and we're all going, wow, that wouldn't have been a knockdown anywhere else but there. So
terrible call in a close fight. But hold on. Aren't there?
Did the ropes really hold him up?
Right. If me and you were sparring and I jab you and you know,
if that's the case, Tyson Fury should have a knockout on his KO loss on his record against
Fury. Oh, I thought that should have been stopped anyway, honestly. But that's
right. But what I'm saying is
not sour grapes.
No, but what I'm saying is Mark Nelson let that thing
let it go
all over the place.
This is a championship fight. You're fighting for your life. If you get hit by a punch and go to the rope, no, when you're on Queer Street and the ropes hold you up and you look dead, I'm with that. I'm with a standing 8. You know, they don't do that anymore.
Speaking of the guy who called the fight, his grandfather fought an entire famous fight.
A style that way. Right.
That
to get a punch
is now
landing,
in the American or the worldwide lexicon. I was
a punch landing and you bouncing off the ropes and is not
100 episodes of this show.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Wild. Again, I think we're both. Look, we try to talk about things that are bad, no matter the situation. But title fight, you know, these guys are life and death. You can die in there. You know, you don't play that. We say you don't play boxing. What's that?
On the
Oh,
YouTube.
you think would have lost a finger if he didn't call? Terrible call. Again, close fight. Turned into a brutal fight in the second half. I don't know if you scored it. I had it 115, 112 for Saya Tsutsumi. Judges got it right. UD for Tsutsumi. And Inoue fought tough. Great fight. Guys, watch this card. It's on ESPN
run it back.
Plus. I'm sure a lot of
guys,
Americans didn't get a shot.
It's 5 hours of boxing. Guys, Vinny and I have mentioned this in the past. We've criticized the ESPN app. Lately, they've been, I don't know how long it's going to be up there. They're going to leave the fights. I didn't watch a lot of this live. I watched pieces of it. I went back and was able to extrapolate what I wanted to watch. Fast forward through because on the app, when you rewatch it on Plus, it's commercials. So you can fast forward through the commercials.
Yeah, and if there's an early knockout and they're trying to stall for a half hour, you can fast forward through that.
You can fast forward it, right?
That's what my mother's been doing, because no maniacs up at that time except me, because I keep vampire hours.
Right.
So when they start to end, I'm like, all right, time to go to bed. You know what I mean?
You can save a lot of time.
But I told my mother about these fights and that they were great, and that's how she watched them. And guys, unless you're actively looking for the results, they're not getting spoiled for you, because these aren't household names. So it's not like you can go in fresh. You know what I mean? So 24 hours later, Monday morning, Ariake Arena.
That's why I'm so beat. I got up in the morning, and
this is what this guy does for this podcast.
If you guys follow me on IG, I actually screenshotted some images from the Nakatani fight, which we'll get to later, and posted them in my story. But I was one eye open like this, phone on the charger, on my nightstand, watching it in bed. Set my alarm, watching it in bed. My wife woke up for work today, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
We're like maniacs watching fights.
I got the 100th show tonight.
Yeah,
I got to watch this one live.
Yeah. So Monday morning starts. We get Kosai Tanaka, 4-division champion, 20-0, 11 KOs. Only loss is to Kazioka versus a guy named Fumalele Kafu, 10-0, 8 KOs, never fought outside of South Africa. WBO super flyweight. I'm going, man, never fought out of South Africa. They're trying to get an easy touch. Could I have been more wrong?
Dude, guys, this was a huge, I guess we'll spoil it.
Yeah,
it's a huge upset.
Look, Kosei Tanaka is obviously good. Unless you're Adrian Broner, you're not a 4-division champion unless you're really good.
Right.
Kafu was the surprise. Good technique, keeps his hands high. Good jab, doubled it up, throwing it. Good technique. Look, he was throwing and landing a good left hook counter off the rip.
Scored
goes
a legit
downstairs.
knockdown.
Yes, goes downstairs. Very good fighter. High level stuff from both guys. Really good fight. A perfect right hand counter dropped Tanaka in the 5th. Right on the button. Perfect shot. Then this maniac Tanaka comes back in the 6th and 7th and starts landing shit. Big body shots off of a double jab. Great stuff. I mean, high level stuff. Then this maniac Kafu comes back in the 8th with hooks upstairs and downstairs, just ripping them.
Seesaw action the whole time.
Seesaw action. I had it 114, 113 for Fumulele Kafu. It was a split decisions. The cards were 114, 113 Kafu, 114, 113 Tanaka, 114, 113 for your new WBA super flyweight champion, Fumalele Kafu. Incredible fight. Problem there, this is Bam's division. Look, guys, up. I'm not calling it this, but it's one of the fights of the year. I don't think nobody anywhere wants it with Bam, but these guys do not get paid a lot. This is definitely one of those moments that I was choked up at for Kafu from where he comes from, how polite he was. Seeing these dudes come out of nowhere, particularly from out of nowhere and impoverished places, he wasn't given a shot. They knew that he was,
No, he's
they
like
figured
ranked like outside of the top 10 too.
right. So they're like, he's 10-0, but he fights local yokels. So it'll look good. We'll bring him in here. Yo, infinite respect to the judges for calling this in Japan for how they saw it. This might a little bit answer your question, B. Maybe they just call it how they see it, and they're not trying to avoid a draw, which they imply in the States, if you get what I mean. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Right.
Yeah, we don't like draws. Wink, wink. Put 100 clams in your, in your top jacket pocket, or maybe 1,000 clams. I was very impressed with the judging. I'm not mad at the judge that had it 114, 113 for Cavill because it was such a good fight. I had it 6 rounds apiece, and he scored. And when fights are razor thin, guess why knockdowns count, guys?
Right.
Because of this. Did you score it, B?
Didn't score it. Like
just
I
watched
said,
a great fight and enjoyed it.
Great fight. Yeah. I didn't score any of these fights. I just kind of watched out of one eye.
Tenshin Nasukawa, Jerwin Asilo. Look, man, two counter punchers is usually a nightmare. That's what these guys are. They were both waiting on the other.
Yeah.
Throwing single shots. Nasukawa is good. Yeah. He needs to do more in there if they're going to continue to book him.
Guy.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. So he only has 4 fights, 2 knockouts, but he has tons of fight experience.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm bringing it up, B, they're booking him over and over. They're pushing him.
Well,
I've literally seen every one of his fights. So but here's my thing.
Here's what I wrote. Floyd, right?
That Floyd knocked out.
Yeah.
I think you might be right. I think you might. I
could be wrong. I don't know. I thought this was him. But
he's good, but B, he's got to do more in there if they're going to keep booking him on these big cards. I know it's not big to the average listener, but these are big cards over there. The knockdown in the 9th was a slip, but
that was he like touched his chest. The guy slipped on the canvas.
Why do you D for Tenshin Nasukawa? I don't really know what you do here, B, with him. I guess put him in tough. Do you move him quick? I don't know.
He should be lower on the card. And he shouldn't be in these 10 rounders yet.
I'm not horny to see him fight.
Put him in
what I'm trying to say.
They won't go backwards and put him in an 8-rounder, but at this point in his career, he should be in an 8-rounder, and he should be maybe 2nd or 3rd position on the card, not co-feature. He's a co-feature.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you put him in there with a come forward Mexican guy, it could be fun. You know what I mean? But you book him against a guy who was a counterpuncher. It wasn't great,
Yeah.
Our guy, Junto Nakatani, 28-0, 21 KOs, versus Pech Sur Kitpatna, 76-1 with 53 KOs.
Yeah, and we did this a couple weeks ago. We read off the record of his last 10 guys.
Yeah.
So guys, just to let you guys in if you don't know, a lot of these lighter weight guys from Thailand, they really fight rickshaw drivers.
Yeah,
I mean, this is
half of the attendants at some of these fights are chickens.
Right.
It's like 250 people and 250 chickens.
I was talking to one of my buddies today. I was like, have you ever watched one of these?
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean? I said, there's more people just gambling on the fight than there are.
And then people, the ones who aren't, they're rolling dice.
Right.
There's a cockfight in the corner.
There's all kinds of shit going on. They're fought in outdoor small things.
Yes.
So
they get there in a rickshaw.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that guy's who he's fighting.
Right. He drives one of the fans and then he gets
out.
He has his gloves on.
Yeah, he's like, I got to fight. What do you mean? I'm making weight.
There's something very funny about our podcast, B. The better the fighter, the less we yap, the less we yak it on. I don't have as much to talk about here as I did with other fights that were look,
I kind of thought this was going to happen, that the guy was going to come out with a lot of heart.
He came to fight. He came to fight.
And I think that actually surprised Nakatani at first. It's a very herky-jerky, tons of feint style.
Yep.
Typical in what you see in these Thai guys who are very successful against zero like really bottom rung competition.
Yes, and a lot of those habits that can confuse you for a little bit come from them being Thai fighters as well. The other style,
right?
that other
Yeah,
style of
Muay Thai fighters. Yeah,
So there's different.
yeah.
It's a different look.
It takes a
For
little
you.
while to get their
A little
timing
bit,
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you're this good as Nakatani is,
Right.
it doesn't take that
Well,
long.
you just start to see the extra gear, and there was not one look of panic in his face. There was no
Nothing,
change in emotion.
nothing. Cool as a cucumber.
Right.
Chip Quintana down in round 6, got up, comes forward again. Nakatani lands a huge left hand, and
Yeah, he
Chip
just
Quintana
kinda
face planted.
and then looked at the corner like, "All right,
And the ref calls it without counting, which
Yeah.
you know what that means.
It was just a different level of class.
Yeah, just different levels, guys. It's not.
I don't see how the WBC had this guy ranked as high as they did.
No, we critiqued it when we heard it was made, but
Yeah.
we said, well, he's staying busy. It's better than these PBC guys who you
Yeah.
haven't seen since 2021. So us getting to watch Nakatani batter someone, in 6, it's still fun for us, and we just love seeing him at work. You don't want a lot of them, you know what I mean? But if you fight 4 to 6 times a year, you're gonna get a couple that are like
Sure.
this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys are draws over there, guys. It never sounds like it because the Japanese are so polite, no one's going batshit.
Right.
These places are packed, guys, both
Yeah.
nights.
Oh, yeah.
On a Sunday night and a Monday night, which is just odd.
So, real quick, Vin, the apple
Yes,
cart now is upset,
it's
correct?
upset. It is upset.
Alright, so, guys
The plan was to put Junto Nakatani in with Inoue's brother, as Inoue saying, "You got to get past my kin to fight
to
me."
get to me. And we said Takuma was probably like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, I
Right.
didn't volunteer for
I
this.
didn't ask for this shit. I don't want to
Look
fight this maniac.
look at this guy.
Right.
He's a fucking he's psychotic." So where does Nakatani go from here? Now, does he fight Tsutsumi, right, to
Look,
unify?
if you and I put on our promoter caps, that's what we do.
You gotta make that fight.
You gotta make that fight. And Inoue, who look, we don't know him, we don't know anyone in that camp. Seems to me to be an honorable guy. He's certainly not scared of anyone. We know that. So get that out of
Right.
your mind. But he seems to be honorable. Yo, if you said you got to beat my brother, and then your brother fought someone and your brother got beat by him, then logic would dictate that you would beat the guy that did that.
I mean, as much as we praised Tsutsumi, his style, I think Nakatani would eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think Nakatani wins that fight by corner stoppage faster than he beat this Salapat.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
I think he punches his face out of the back of his head.
You think Junto beat Saya Tsutsumi quicker than he beat?
And let me explain why. Saya Tsutsumi comes forward and was blocking a lot of punches with his face against Takuma Inoue. All right. Most of the
punch.
Who can't. There you go.
Yeah.
And Nakatani can.
Right. So he's
a big rangy south.
That fight was so good because of his lack of power. Because it might have been done. It might have been an early night.
I told you that uppercut. I think it was the 3rd round.
Yeah, right on the button.
On the button. It did knock him across the ring.
Yeah, if that's Naoya, sleepy time,
bro. Sleep surgery time. We're talking. You getting your jaw rewired after.
Look, I take something back. If we really put on our KEOTB promoter hats, we skip the line and go,
yeah,
we're making that fight because he just keeps showing he's levels above.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yep.
Do they want it to marinate over there? That's probably their answer.
Probably.
One fight for each guy, and let's do this in mid 2025.
Yeah.
But all right. Let's move on to the undercards of the main event for all the marbles at 175.
Riyadh season.
I missed the very first fight. I skipped the women's fight. Do you have anything to say about either of them? Ben Whitaker versus Liam Cameron. So
what the fuck was this?
correct.
Can
That's
you?
all
I
you
want.
can say. Well, did you get a chance because you were on vacation with your lovely family? Did you get a chance to listen to my Dolo episode?
Yes.
So I talked about this Ben Whitaker, and I said, look, when you do the Nassim Hamed, when you do the Jorge Paez, when you do the Vinny Pazienza, when you do the second half of your career, Roy Jones, John must have forgot all of that stuff. You better be as good as all those guys I just said, you know, because you might do it like Adrian Broner and end up like the Maidana fight, and there's rarely in the middle. And I said, maybe if you're lucky, Ben Whitaker, you'll be one of the middle guys who does it okay. But, you know, and this, like I said, this guy dances in the ring. He does full twirls in the ring. He walked a guy back to his corner as to say, like, yo, you're my little son. I'm going to walk you over here. The guy headbutted him. So look, I know he looked like shit, Ben Whitaker.
Like shit.
He was getting caught clean, B. The speed and flash, etc., meant nothing. These bozos both go over the ropes in the fifth.
Yeah.
I saw nothing to indicate anything happened to either of them, but I think Whitaker won it out, bro. That's just my opinion. He was grabbing his leg and they called the fight. It went to the cards. They took Whitaker out in a wheelchair. It was a split decision draw. Talk to me about this shit show and what you think, and talk to me about the fact that he is absolutely being touted as the next big thing out of there.
Well, now I'm reading the most recent thing that was published today at 8:30 is that he does have a neck injury and a sprained ankle. So he's out indefinitely, it says.
What do you think about that? Just talk to me about all. Just talk to me about.
I think that.
Just talk to me about all of this.
What's the guy's name? Liam Crawford.
I'm sorry.
Liam Cameron. Liam Cameron. Is that his name?
I'm sorry, B. Liam Cameron.
Liam Cameron. I don't know what
yeah, tough guy. You know, one of those tough guys that gets beat by good guys.
Right. So
I come with his lunch pail.
I think Liam Cameron. You know, when you, like you said, when you do this kind of shit that Ben Whitaker does, you have a bullseye on your back. You know. I think that you know, in terms of, you know, Whitaker being 8-0, whatever he was, what is he, 8-0-1 now? He's also 27.
I like that you bring that up a lot. I genuinely do. It's very smart of you to do because, this kid. No, you better be good, and you better be good now.
Right. So I think that Liam Cameron was like, yo, fuck this guy. If he tries any of that bullshit with me, I'm gonna throw his ass out of the fucking ring. And it appears he did. This guy is either hurt or whatever, like you said, didn't like what was happening in there. He's now against the guy in Liam Cameron with 30 fights, 30 professional fights, you know, who has been in there with the likes of, you know, Lyndon Arthur, you know, and guys who are ranked in the top 10 and 20.
Real guy. He's fought real guys, and he's tough. And he's tough.
And he's tough.
Those working class Brits are no joke, man. No joke. They're tough guys. You're not.
I don't think
these aren't guys you want to run into in a fucking alley. Big, strong kid. I like that I'll tell you what though, B, and I don't know if you saw this. He was chatting shit, bro. Afterwards, like his shit was busted up. So I think Ben Whitaker looked like shit. Maybe he busts up easy, because that doesn't always mean what it. We're gonna get into. Actually, we're gonna get into that when we cover the main event. But I'm curious, like he was busted up. Then he was making fun of Ben Whitaker. I think Ben Whitaker got pinched at the airport for some drama.
Oh,
really? He was like mocking him. Liam Cameron was mocking him on his IG. When he was talking shit, he was still in Saudi. You know what I mean? Like someone just took their phone and he said, "Come on, bro, bro, I won that fight, innit?" And maybe he did. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie and say I was scoring it because I was like, I don't know much about Liam Cameron, and I don't know if Ben Whitaker's real yet. If he's
I don't either.
real, this is easy. If he's not, he's going to get Broner Maidana. I picked Adrian Broner to win that fight because at one point I thought he was so fucking good. I thought he was the future because
Right.
that kid at 30, 35, and 40, or did he skip 40? Was it 26,
He fought at
30,
40.
35, and then skipped? He was special for a minute, you know?
Right.
I've admitted on the air there was a period of time where Adrian Broner was in my top 10 pound for pound. And
Right.
you look at me now and probably go, I'm turning this podcast off. I don't want to hear this guy anymore. How's that possible? He was really good when he sparked Litzau out and he was dead.
Yeah.
You know, on HBO.
It was
a wild fall from grace, Brendan. A wild fall from grace.
Crazy.
So talk to me about Whitaker. What is he? How did he look in the rounds that lasted? It went
to me, it looked pedestrian. It looked like the guy wasn't falling for it. By the way, the Vicente Escobedo and the Antonio DeMarco fights were the two that were for me for Broner, like, because I was doubtful after Ponce de Leon. Those two fights, I was like, okay, all right, Whitaker.
But all those guys were good. Like Ponce de Leon was really good, you know. So I was like, oh, it's all right. A close fight with these guys, they're good. So I'm just saying, I'm just admitting, I'm snitching on myself. Personally, I'm not putting this on you and then knock him out the box thing.
What is my thoughts on Ben Whitaker? Again, man, you're 27, 8-0.
Do you look at this as his? It's not as dramatic, but was this his Maidana?
Yeah. Yeah, man. No one's
I think a tough, come forward, working class fighter, not working class guy, you know, or that working class style, you know, a Ricky Hatton style.
Bro, I don't think people are gonna fall for the bullshit. You know what I mean? And again, like, once it gets out there, right? It's like, here's the playbook. You know what I mean? All that flash, all that pizzazz, all this.
I'm just gonna time him. I'm either gonna time
him or I'm gonna foul him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna rough him up because he's not gonna know what to do.
Right.
He's not cut like that.
I've seen that shit in the gym. You know, meaning I'm speaking in terms of like the working
Liam
class fighter.
He's seen everything.
I've seen that in the gym. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck
this fucking guy. When we're on the inside, I'm gonna fucking punch him right in his dick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna elbow him. I'm gonna throw a right hand with an elbow.
On his feet. Hey, if he beats me, great.
But
you know what?
Low.
He's gonna know. He's gonna know. He
I'll hit him in the dong. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I imagine him not knowing to do with a cut.
Right. So, I'm gonna throw my elbow right on his hip. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fucking knee him. I'm gonna fuck this guy. I'm gonna fuck this guy up. I'm gonna lace him.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would fucking grab him by his head.
Yeah. Imagine like a Bernard. You know, like a Bernard.
As soon as the referee's on, he would position.
He's on my left side. I'm gonna throw a right elbow. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the back of his liver. I'm gonna go to the back.
Yeah. I could see Bernard with his palming his shoulder, just rubbing that lace on him. You know what I mean? Fucking, you know, clearing his nose right in his fuck. You know what I mean?
I'll give him a mandible claw if I have to.
Yeah.
Hey, we always do this little thing between us. We say, I think the next time this guy fights, if he's in there with a regular guy, if they run it back with Liam Cameron, which you know he wants. Now, who promotes him? Is it Frank Warren or Eddie?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's Matchroom or Queensberry. Whoever does, the fans.
Ben Whitaker, you're saying?
Yes, fans. I'm including me. I think Liam Cameron, for doing what he did for 5 rounds, deserves another shot. That's just my opinion. I doubt he gets it if I'm his promoter. I don't know who that is, if that's Eddie or Frank Warren. But a split decision draw.
Sugar Hill's his trainer, right?
Yes. Yo, respect Liam Cameron, man. I didn't think you would win. A lot of people thought you should have got the nod. You're tough as nails, and you're deserving. If you don't get the rematch, if Liam Cameron doesn't get a rematch, how about a little bit of a what's that called? a prize when you lose?
A booby prize?
No, stupid idiot.
First runner up?
A what prize?
Consolation.
Consolation prize. Book him again.
Book him, Dano.
You know what I'm saying, B? You agree with me? If it's not a Ben Whitaker rematch, book him against another guy at 75 that you think is a prospect. Give him another shot. And a nice, it was not a huge payday, but it's nice for a guy like him. Probably works a job,
Sure.
Yeah, man. I think I said this is Ben Whitaker's shot to be put on, to be stamped and put on that list that you and I talk about of how we did in the beginning of Kermel Moton, these young kids who say these guys are special, watch out. You know what I mean?
This motherfucker's 27.
Right. And seemingly not very good. So I'm gonna say something. I don't know if these types of things are called libel. I don't believe any of the neck thing. They're conveniently both
soft tissue injuries.
They're both soft tissue. I can't prove this or disprove this injury.
I was gonna say that when I read it to you.
The sprained ankle. Okay.
Allegedly.
I've heard my ankles crack on tour and walked around on the rest of the tour on them, and it hurt bad. But bad sprain, a snapping, the neck. I can't prove. He's gonna do a fucking. What's he gonna do? An Andy Kaufman and walk around with the neck brace?
It'd be great.
Is he gonna fucking Bobby the Brain?
Find that? Yeah, he's gonna find Jerry Lawler.
Remember Bob Orton had the cast on for like 40 years.
Cowboy Bob Orton.
Bob Ace. He had that cast on for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard it again, Vince, when he would go on the show. Cowboy, you had that on for a very long time. I heard it working out again, man. So I had to reset it. Chris Eubank versus Camille Zerameta. I thought Zerameta, my prediction was that he might give him some work, Eubanks. Zerameta dropped in the first by a short right hand. He was touching Eubank, but he's got nothing on his shots.
No.
Nothing. It's obvious why they picked him.
Sure.
Come on, let's be real here. Eubank was cut by a headbutt. Again, Zerameta was landing, but with no mustard on his shots. He wasn't giving Eubank anything to think about. He's tough, though.
Yeah, tough Polish guy.
Yeah, knocked down again in the 6th by a short right hand, down twice from the 7th from body shots. If this was some sort of audition for Canelo, if Canelo wants to go over there, then that's again,
it's the world tour of fighting.
I mean, have we flat out said the words we have to each other privately? We said the words on air that we say in private that we don't believe Canelo will ever fight a legitimate threat again. Have we said it on the air?
Have we said that on air?
Yeah, on the air. We do in our personal life. Okay, let's say we didn't.
Let's do it right now.
Let's do it right now.
I don't think Canelo fights a legitimate threat ever again.
I don't either. So then,
Canelo's effectively making money. He's retired.
This is absolutely an audition for Canelo. Then,
yeah, this is okay.
I just want to say,
you're going to hear it here first. It's the Canelo pension plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. This is just
4 to 5 more fights. London, Vegas, Japan,
and it's going to be against good guys who they can't beat him.
Yes. Has this is a good one for you. Has Canelo ever fought in New York?
Yeah. Yeah, he fought the first DAZN card Matchroom was against Rocky Fielding. It was in New York.
Oh, at the Garden. Garden.
Fought at the Garden.
Not Brooklyn. The Garden. You're right. Is that the only one, or maybe some in it when he was a kid?
When he was younger, yeah.
So the only big fight for a belt he fought in New York was the Rocky Fielding fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say one more time on the East Coast. Let's just,
Yeah, it's just going to be a world tour.
East Coast, London, Japan, Saudi. That's 4, and that could be it. You know what I mean? Or a fifth.
Mhm.
If those years, sometimes he
It's
squeezes
gonna be
in three.
another
Hey,
3
yo,
years. It'll be 3 years and
if
6
he
fights is my prediction.
if it's 3 years, he'll fight 6 times. If it's 2 years, it'll be 4 or 5. Unless he does every now and then, he squeezes in 3 in a year. Hey, yo, you know, if he does that, he could do it in 2 years. Um, and so we're predicting the Canelo. It might be 2025 Chris Eubank. They're trying to make the Conor Ben thing. It seems serious because they know the gate
Dude, who
over there
gives
will
a
be huge.
fuck?
How do you care about that fight? And I'm talking even as a Brit. What do you guys? It's not Amir Khan or Kell Brook. Even though it was too late, it was always wanted. They were always
Right.
around the same size. Guys, you're talking about a welter
Yeah,
who was on the gas
right.
and a big guy at 68 in Eubank. Like this
Yeah.
is not. This is as weird as when you guys say Inoue should fight Tank. It's no less weird. It's no less dumb. When they were standing next to each other, and Eubank wasn't in boxing. I mean, Ben wasn't in boxing shape with his odd Indian bouffant and silk shirt. I guess they kind of look around the same
Yeah,
size.
but he's still he's like a head shorter than him. You know, I don't know, man.
I don't either.
I don't give a fuck about that fight.
I don't give a motherfuck. If it happens, we have to cover it. But the winner, I want to know what the winner gets.
Yeah.
What is the prize for winning that fight?
Bragging rights?
Bragging rights of countrymen.
Stupid IBO. He's got some IBO belt.
Yeah. Jay Apathy versus Jack Massey, cruiserweight. Jai Apathy is the man there. He's the ring guy. I think someone else has a belt, or maybe two, because they start stripping you and no diddy. But he's the guy, guys. He's the real guy. If you got the ring belt, you're the guy. He's the real guy there. Jack Massey was game, man. Landed some shots.
Sure.
Tough guy. Did some good work to me.
Did you think that the stoppage was weird?
A little bit. I don't know when guys are coming for a check and when guys are I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What could you get, B? What could you get as Jack Massey? $200K for this?
Yeah, I
And
don't
travel?
know.
So all right, so what do you bring home? So half of it's taxes. So now you have $100K and you got to pay everyone. So what do you
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it works
75K?
in Riyadh, how these guys get paid. You know?
No, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, let's just say me and you went there and made that. We have to, you know what I mean? Like, I have to.
I'm going to tell you something crazy.
When I go overseas, all that stuff's weird when you make money there and how you get.
How does it work?
The country will tax you because you're filling out labor forms. Like they're filling out forms
In Saudi Arabia,
in Saudi, in Canada, in Europe, and then each country, like Switzerland, bro, they like toss our tour bus and are like they're dickheads. Like, yo, you said you had 500 shirts. You have 502. Come with us. Like I sat there for 6 hours at the Switzerland border.
That makes me so happy.
Fuck you creep. You're a real creep for saying that. A real creep.
I just find so much satisfaction.
You're such a jerk. You're a creep.
It's funny too. I was actually coming home from Aruba, right? And you got to go through Dutch customs, Aruba customs, and U.S. customs.
Yeah, and that was recent. I hope it was all a headache.
All I thought about the whole time, and I said
my
this
miserable
today.
Life. This is what Vinny does every day.
I said, this would be more satisfying if Vinny was here. She goes, what? And I go, just listening to him bitch about this the whole time. And it's one of those lines where like
whole time, dude. When I'm in the mood, it's that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Motherfucker.
It's like one of those lines, and like there's people here, and I could just lift the thing up and walk right there because there's no one here. And they have someone going, no, you have to walk around the whole maze to get to that guy. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't because I could go right there. There's no one here. But yeah.
Also, I not to get off topic, I'll get right back on topic. Add to the fact, B, that I'm coming into their countries to make money. So I go to the dickhead guy that's asking me questions like, "Are you left-handed or right-handed? What's the name of this song?" They Google me. I'm like, "I don't Google me. You're a cop. You're gonna see. No, this is bad." I get held everywhere. They toss my bag, no diddy, everywhere. Don't put it back together. Like rare polo pieces, they're launching in the side room. They're real dickheads.
This Terrence Crawford was tweeting out like a couple weeks ago that British Airways stole all his shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I believe it happened to my aunt.
I've had stuff missing from my bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like shit you buy elsewhere.
Of course.
Like, one of the
bringing my mom. So you know, man, when you leave, you got to bring something home for wifey or the kids or something, even if it's little. I'm like, yo, I bought you like a little. I remember like buying a little. What are the the Mounties in Canada?
Yeah,
it was like little stuffed bear Mounties or something. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I'll bring like one home for my mom and like my niece. And like, say I bought 3. One, they left 1. So like my mom still has it. You know, this is like an 03 trip, bro. I'll go on record. Nobody's worse than Canada. Nobody's worse than Canada.
I've gotten stuck at the border going to Quebec to see friends.
It goes 1A Canada, 1B Switzerland. Everybody else, and don't fuck with me in London, but because I have that brand of humor, I can win someone over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And because
I know, like for women in particular, like who have like nice, like body oil or cream or perfume or whatever. My parents and my aunt and uncle recently went elsewhere. They went to Europe, and my aunt had like like stuff women have on their
the gimmicks
on their like nightstand before you go to bed. All the shit.
Yeah, they gimmick up the ladies' gimmicks.
Fucking, they stole all that shit. Yeah, all of it gone. Like nah, and they just steal. Like if they see it's nice, like they tell you don't bring nice shampoo.
Yeah,
don't bring nice this. Because they'll take.
They've launched my. I'm a guy. They've lost my nice shampoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've lost. What like you said, they'll check you out if you got a nice watch, if you're wearing Gucci, something like that. So back to this fight, Jay Apatite, Jack Massey. Yeah, look, he was tough, did some good work. Apatite's just better. He started taking over. He's good. He's really good with distance. By the 6th, Massey was getting busted up in his corner, throwing the towel. I don't know. You asked me, what do I think about it? I never know, because we don't know Jack
defending
Massey
himself. I thought he was looked okay, and then it was and actually he had like landed a couple of good shots.
I agree,
and I was like, that's a weird. Maybe
I agree.
I don't know.
My
thing is why are you letting him off the stool then?
Sure, that's a good point.
All right.
Fabio Wardley, Frazier Clark too. I didn't have a description other than one word: destruction.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to beat him. I thought he was going to stop him. I didn't think it was going to happen that way.
Right.
So, one guy separates himself to maybe get in there, start getting in with a top 20 guy, maybe. Fabio Wardley. He's crude.
He's from Ipswich.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it on the air, but those British belts and Euro belts mean a lot to those guys. You know what I mean? So just send him down that direction, and see if he's the goods. He's very crude, but clearly he can punch like a fucking ox. Yeah. The main event, guys, for unified light heavyweight to be the first one since Roy Jones, 23 years ago,
25
years ago was when.
Must have forgot.
Yeah, I did. Pazzi must have forgot. Arthur stalking, Bivol moving, boxing off the back foot, but beautifully. Close rounds early. My prediction was that Arthur would be down big halfway through the fight.
You said that?
It was a bit closer midway through. Bivol boxing beautifully. Both guys having moments. By the way, I wanted to say, did you notice it's back to Bivol? Dude, it's making me nuts.
Insane. It's making me nuts. But Russians say Bivol, don't they?
Yes.
And commentators say Bivol.
Yes.
I don't like Bivol.
No, neither do I. It's like swivel.
Right. Dmitry Bivol.
Right.
Once we got to get.
Let's get him on here. To call him right now. Get him on
Billy,
this Skype. Billy, get him on this StreamYard. Beterbiev-Bivol, chop chop. Okay, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you. God,
stupid idiot.
Give me 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know what time it is there in Russia.
Right. Long. Bivol would stop and pop. Beautiful, but Arthur was using the jab and coming behind it with the right hand, and he was picking off a lot of those. He was going boop, 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 and Arthur is picking them off. And I have a
lot of issue.
Okay.
With the critique of Beterbiev,
I think your defense for these nitwits needs to look flashy for it to be considered defensively responsible and effective.
What I was also going to say was it's not just nitwits, though. It's a lot of people are pissed off at this decision. They think that Bivol banked enough rounds.
Okay, so Ryan Garcia called it a robbery. I think he's a nitwit. He's a pro fighter, championship level fighter. I don't think he's good, but he's fought for championships. I think maybe he won one. Tank, this is a robbery. I think
Paulie and Algieri called it a robbery.
Yeah, it just isn't.
It's not
a robbery. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And I said this, and I don't know, maybe this.
Did you see Devin Haney's tweet?
No, I didn't see it.
Close fights aren't robberies because he's still staying by people killing him for long.
Yeah.
My guy, this was way closer than Loma Haney. My guy, don't put yourself in the pantheon of Bivol. I almost said it the wrong way. Bivol Beterbiev with that.
I tweeted
a boxing lesson that Lomachenko gave you.
I tweeted a thinly veiled message out to people.
I like that
because I said most of the analysts who are fighters calling this a robbery weren't punchers and have been on the wrongs on the good side of bad decisions.
I'm gonna say we're 100 episodes deep. Top 5 things you've said in 100 episodes. I was almost going to say verbatim, with the exception of Tank Davis. Every person I saw were guys that felt like they won against a real strong guy, felt like I'm doing air quotes, tamed the beast and got robbed. As far as fighters here, guys. Or if they were trainers, they train a guy like that. Their lead charge is a boxer who moves.
I also think we've gone into this. Jesus Christ. We do. Boxing and boxing fans, people who root for boxing, people who are in boxing are in different clubs or tribes.
Correct.
We can add a tribe styles, right?
Yes, of course.
What you look for.
Yes.
Right. So
I don't think we belong to one, you and I.
We don't, because you and I, who we think.
We will watch Guillermo Rigondeaux and we will watch Ward Gotti on the same night.
Right.
And
Precisely. So I think we're at that crossroads right now with people and their analytics with the fight. It's not a robbery. I want them to run it back. I'm not upset if you had Bivol winning. I'm not upset if you have Beterbiev winning. I'm not upset if you have it a draw. I lean more towards a draw, and I have Beterbiev slightly edging it. I did not score the fight. I'm going to say that right now. I did not score the fight. I watched this fight. I watched 5 rounds on the fucking tarmac at Kennedy. Okay. Then I went back and watched
to gather your kids and family, and
so I watched the fight twice. I watched it
all
the way through.
So did I.
The second time,
I didn't score it the second time. I scored it live, and I scored it for real. I mean, like, you glance at your phone or something. Phone down.
I watched 5 rounds on the tarmac. The last 5 rounds. As soon as we got home, put the kids to bed, Vanessa knocked the fuck out. I watched the first half of the fight off of the app. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got up the next day, which is Sunday. I purposely didn't watch after I coached soccer and fucking ran my fucking potato chip route after that.
Yeah.
I then watched the whole fight.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the whole fight. So you can't give. See, I'll get ripped apart. But you know what? Write me. Fuck it. KOTB Boxing. Write me. Fucking comment underneath this one on the 100th episode.
Oh, guys. Also, let me just say, because you said that, B. I'm sorry to cut you off. Guys, it's easier for us if you write us at the email, because a lot of people DM me on IG.
Yeah,
it's cool. I'm not like I'm not saying I'm big for my britches and I can't respond to people. I'm just saying I am inundated with DMs on social media, and if you are genuinely interested about boxing, it's better to email keotbboxing@gmail.com. I'm not trying to be rude,
right.
and I will
Also,
answer you if I can.
If we've never corresponded via DM, it puts your DM oftentimes into like its own sort of spam on IG. And if I don't look into that right away, I'll see something from like 6 weeks ago. And I'm
The
sorry.
easiest way to get your question read on air is to email
is
us at
email us.
keotbboxing@gmail.com. Bottom line, just trying to be as honest as I can. Go ahead, B. You said you're going to get killed.
Okay. I feel like Bivol almost pulled an Oscar versus Tito and didn't do enough in the second half of the fight. If you look at, again, numbers aren't everything.
You think people are going to kill you on that?
I do. I think because they're going to tell me that, like, I don't know what I'm talking about, and that Oscar Tito was a fucking robbery. That also to me wasn't a robbery because
it was
Oscar,
to me.
But just Oscar gave up, and didn't do enough. What I'm saying is, if you look at the numbers, guys, judges score effective aggression. If I throw 200 to 300 punches more than you do, okay, the judges are not seeing CompuBox landed and attempted punches. They're going based on a visual, okay, right there, and they can't undo it. If Beterbiev starts to take control, or any fighter for that matter, and outworks the other guy, guess what? They're going to give him those rounds, and they did. I think the only egregious card, or what people were mad about, was the 8-4 card, right? Because they gave Beterbiev, I believe, the 4th round, that card, and the other 2 judges did not. So they're saying there's a discrepancy there. I don't really know what else to say other than one guy threw a lot more punches and was a lot more active in the second half of the fight. And that lends to winning around. It wasn't like the second half of the fight where Bivol was landing these massive shots in between Beterbiev working.
I want to talk about this thing that he continued to do. He boxed way more similarly in this fight to the Canelo fight than he did where he was just standing in the middle of the ring with guys. I'm not saying trading, but when he was knocking guys out for a little bit and standing,
Bivol.
You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
He's got, he had, because he's so good, he's got different styles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that, again, I spoke about it before when I said I misspoke when I was talking about his feet. You know what I mean? But when he would stop and pop, why are we giving him the Ray Leonard Hagler credit here? Where you're throwing 5 punches and Arthur's picking those shots. It looked beautiful. I'm not saying he wasn't boxing beautiful, but if you're moving, Arthur's jabbing, coming forward, jabbing, putting the right hand behind it. Arthur's one of those guys that is hitting you and splitting your guard. And when he hits your guard, Bivol said he hits so hard, I'm lumped up because he was hitting my hand and that the power was coming through it.
Right. This isn't amateur boxing, folks. We're not scoring based on touching. It's not point fighting.
I just want you to answer me something, though, B. Why, when he was stopping and popping Bivol and ripping off 5 shots and Arthur's picking the shots off with his gloves, aren't they saying that when they're saying, well, he boxed and gave him a boxing lesson? Yo,
right.
If you think his movement looked better and it looked prettier, I'm sorry, guys, this isn't ballet. If Loma just used his feet and didn't sit and throw some shots and drop Gomez like he did, or Jason Sosa, or hurts him under the body, you wouldn't just be giving him points for his great movement. Great movement.
So what
is not
what are you asking me? You said I have to answer something.
I want to know why, when the people that think Beterbiev won, they're acting like when he would stop and pop, that Arthur was getting lit up.
You mean Bivol?
When Bivol would stop and pop. Yes,
right.
sorry. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, what I'm saying is, okay, that was my point. So if it's a 3-minute round and one guy fights for 30 seconds and the other guy fights for 2.5 minutes, I'm supposed to ignore the 2.5 minutes for the 30 seconds? I don't know. I don't know. I don't score fights that way.
I don't believe in flurries winning rounds.
No.
It's why I judge a man by who he thinks, Hagler or Leonard, because
he stole a round.
Yeah, right. I mean, stealing a round is you're losing the round and you land a bomb and the guy's on Queer Street that you weren't winning. That's stealing a round.
Well, remember that was the Canelo criticism when he was at like 54. Right, he would fight the first 15 seconds of a round and the last 35 seconds of a round.
Yeah.
And they, and they go, "Oh, he's stealing a round."
Right.
Okay.
Look, Arthur. Look, there's another thing. It's like you're not taking into comparison that this guy hits like a sledgehammer, and then when he gets close, and does those little shots that if it was another fighter, we would call pity pad shots. They're his power shots. They hurt. They're hurting you,
and they're setting up other shots. He's not just
the body shot. He's setting shots up top with the body and the body with up top.
But I'm saying, if I'm whacking you to the body and you go into your high guard like this and try to get your elbows to your thighs and you're backing up, and I keep coming forward and I'm punching you around your guard, and I'm coming back upstairs and I'm jabbing you and throwing right crosses through your guard.
Yes.
You guys at home who are calling this a robbery, don't think that judges are going, well, this guy's clearly winning this round. It's not a robbery. He's doing enough to win a round. And it would be one thing if Bivol picked off all those shots.
Right.
Then in the last 45 seconds, while Arthur's standing there huffing and puffing, he's teeing off on him like he did with Canelo. This was not the same. Okay. Canelo was loading up and remember, he's trying to pull the Callum Smith on Bivol by punching him in his arms and getting him tired. Remember, Bivol at the end of the fight pointed to his arm like, you fucking hurt me. Like you beat the shit. Canelo was in survival mode for a lot of that fight, where he was maybe 7, 8, 10, 12 unanswered shots. There's like one real kind of now infamous sequence. Right. Well, I guess it's infamous if you're Canelo, famous if you're
Bivol.
Where he's just fucking it's like a 14 punch combination that Canelo just eats.
Yeah.
There wasn't that in this fight.
No.
There wasn't that in this fight.
It's shocking that people with such high IQs, because you said, who did you say? Algeria and Paul?
Mm-hmm.
My respect for them is,
higher
than it is for almost anyone else in the sport. I don't understand. This isn't aimed at them, by the way, what I'm about to say. I don't understand not getting effective aggression. I understand that there's some guy, a come forward Pitbull Cruz guy, and a guy like Rayo just picks him apart. That's basically what you're telling me happened. Rayo, Pitbull Cruz. That's what you saw in this fight. And I don't know how you saw that.
I don't
either. I'm saying you, I mean the people that gave it to me.
You
come forward, you're jabbing a stiff jab and putting a hard right hand behind it that's touching them downstairs. First off, Arthur, man, because Bivol's movement was brilliant at cutting the ring off.
Yeah.
Was brilliant at cutting the ring off. And we're not saying like, bro, this was a close fight. There were ebbs and flows. I know there were. Arthur's shots did more damage. So if you're picking shots over your glove, and he threw more, and he landed better body shots that slowed him down in the second half of the fight, that people say, okay, he didn't do enough in the championship rounds. Yeah, because Arthur put money in the bank. He went downstairs and put an investment downstairs for later. And again, man, You said it first. I'm glad you did. I'm not mad at you if you had it 115, 113 for Bivol.
No.
I'm not mad at a draw, but the robbery talk is wild. I'm not, look, man, like the 116, 112 card that people really seem to be up in arms about. Look, a close fight is 115, 113. So that guy gave him another round. You flip one round.
Flip one round. Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. So again, you and I have talked about it. You could have a close fight that could theoretically be a sweep.
Of course.
Right.
Of
It could
course.
just be
This
close.
guy just eked out every round. He still won all 12.
Right.
All those rounds. We talked earlier. The Japan card. Like, yo,
right.
This was close. You flip a couple of those rounds for this guy or that guy because the rounds were so close.
Right.
All right. If we're calling this a close fight, then we're saying that there were close rounds. If they're close rounds, you could flip one of them one way.
Correct.
Which gets you to 8-4. I'm not saying I had it 8-4, but for me, my prediction that Arthur might be down 6-0, 5-1, and I didn't have him down. I didn't have him down. So, which changed everything. I thought he was going to stop him late. He didn't, but not losing the first 6 is why he won this fight. You know, eking out 2 or 3 of the, you know, if you added 4-2 Bivol after 6, then those 2 rounds themselves were just enough for him to turn it up in the second. Bivol is fucking amazing, by the way, too. And he ain't leaving my pound for pound. We got to talk about that.
No,
you know, I don't know if Arthur
these
has
guys
to go up because now we have a real guy.
They stay firmly planted.
Look, everyone involved said Turki Al Sheikh said both of these guys are like my brothers. I thought Bivol won. I want to make the rematch.
Where do you think it would go? You think he would take it somewhere else? Bring it to the States?
We spoke earlier about Russian communities in the U.S., bro.
Well, what I'm saying is you think we'll get this in New York?
Right? I think they should, man. I think they should bring it to New York.
I concur. All right. We talked about what Beterbiev did great. I also want to talk about, even though I had Beterbiev winning, which is an unpopular, I guess, opinion right now.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's like 70% or something like that are saying this was a robbery. Wow. Yeah. What Bivol did fantastic was what we said he would do fantastic. And Beterbiev, he never looked really confused to me. He did confused and surprised, I guess you would say. I think they knew how good Bivol is. Bivol was almost, for this fight, perfect for the first 6 rounds. He was almost perfect. And it really understated how great he did for the first 6 rounds. It's also really understated how great Beterbiev did.
I just need to say I didn't have it 6-0 though. I didn't
have it 6-0 either.
Okay.
I didn't have it 6-0.
Because it's very important for me to say that because I predicted it that it would be that I absolutely said he would be down. No question. I said it's an issue of it's 6-0, 5-1 or 4-2. I absolutely stood on that. I think I had him down 4-2.
I think I said Bivol would get out to like a 4-round and then Beterbiev would start to take over 6 and 7. By the 9th, he'd have him out of there. That was my prediction.
Yeah, mine was very similar to yours. I think I said in between 10 and 11 or 9 and 10.
They have to run this back. If I'm thinking February, be nice like maybe a week after the Morel. If that's going to happen on the 25th, do it like February 2nd. You know what I mean? And then
let's talk about the fact, alhamdulillah, both guys got out, no injuries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing serious. I mean, you beat the shit out of each other for 12 rounds. You're hurt.
Right.
No injuries. Nothing weird happened in terms of physically. You know what I mean? Nothing. Go home to your families.
Yep.
Enjoy what you just did and what you gave us. Recoup. You know what I mean? Get your body healthy. Back in the gym. Let's do this in 4 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it should be here. Just my personal, I don't, the economics of
New York in February. It's pretty cold. I don't know if
I like
fighters will
that.
want that though.
I like
know
that.
you
Bro,
do.
they're Russian.
They're Russian.
I like that. I'd really
Yeah,
like.
and does Bivol lives in Russia still, right?
I think he does. Did you
Okay.
see the wife gallivanting around because she hates him,
She hates
his
him, yeah.
ex? Did you see her video?
I didn't
She's
see
like,
the
yeah, Arthur, and it's like talking wild in Russian
I know
about
that
Dimitri.
there's a whole
There's a whole
over
deal.
there. It's a
It's
whole
a deal. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
deal.
deal.
I want to have our guy Fadi on soon and have him sort of explain the dynamics of the finances and the logic of why'd you give me that face? Okay, Turki Al Sheikh has shown that he can and will do Riyadh season here, which is great. I wanted some insight into you and I saying we want it in New York. I'd like to have him on and have him be like, this is why it won't, or this is why it might, or this is why it will, or something in the middle.
So,
or
from your experience and combined with my experience, I can say this: the Garden is one of the least profitable places to do anything
because of how expensive it is.
The site fee alone is just a fucking pain in the ass. People just do it
to say we had this at the Garden.
We had this at the Garden.
The annual WWF stuff, they just eat it. You know what I mean? Like if they break even, they're like, cool, we did $1 million in merch. But we broke even with the gate.
Matchroom. Barclays. However, if Bob is part of the promotion of this, right? Because isn't Top Rank part of the promotion, ESPN?
Yeah.
Right? Is Bivol? No, Bivol's Matchroom. Artur is
Top Rank.
Like, is he a Top Rank fighter, Artur?
No, but he's like that connected via that.
Right. He's not a Top Rank fighter, but
I don't think Loma is in theory a Top Rank fighter, but I view him as
Loma is a Top Rank fighter. He's promoted.
Like
he's promoted by Top Rank.
His paperwork says Top Rank on it.
Top Rank, right.
Okay.
So is he just like like does he just lend his services to Top Rank and then they get the promotion for that fight, and then he has a separate promoter?
View. Yes, that's my view.
Okay. So that would also right. So that could open up the Barclays Center. That'd be dope. 100th show. You're coming to Barclays. We're going. Fuck it. We're gonna go live.
We're gonna go live. Fuck it. We'll go live.
All right. So you and I knock him out the box. We're saying February 2nd. Excuse me.
Yeah, New York City.
Somewhere on the East Coast.
Yeah, Philly.
At the 2300, the ECW arena.
Yes.
In front of 1,200 diehards.
Yes, and we'll be dressed up. You know how they would dress up like the wrestlers. We'll be dressed up as Beterbiev-Bivol with signs.
That would be fucking great.
With signs,
we could wear those.
Let's do it. Wells Fargo. Look,
those T-shirts that have like the muscle, like it's like almost a tuxedo T-shirt, but
yeah, like the one the brother has in just one of the guys when he goes to the prom.
That's
it's like the hairy chest one.
Yeah, we'll do those.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I mean, look, I had a 115, 113. I want them to run it back because of high level stuff. They're the two guys there, super close.
No disrespect to Riyadh, but I'd like to see it in the States or in a more what's the word? A place with a little bit more boxing acumen.
Yeah.
For the crowd, it's almost like a music show or a comedy show. The crowd does really.
It's one of those type of fights where boxing purists will be in the building.
Right.
It's not the one where you look over and see Fat Joe and Jorge Posada. You know what I mean? It's not
Jorge Posada. Nice.
Yeah. Well, I saw him at a Cotto fight, and I was like,
oh, okay.
This guy likes boxing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's Puerto Rican and Cuban.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Get in here on the East Coast.
Yeah, let's do that. Guys, Wednesday on Pro Box, there's a card. We love Pro Box here. I hope Paulie and Chris are calling it. I don't know if you talked to them, B. Are they going down to Florida this Wednesday?
They live there. So.
Either one. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought they were still in New York.
No.
Chris Colbert is fighting Omar
I know.
Salcedo.
It's crazy.
I personally believe he's done if he loses. Chris
Yeah.
Colbert. Just my opinion. I'm not
They got
telling
a
anyone
they got
they
a
have to
Nicholas
retire.
Walters fight on there too.
That night?
No, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Axeman.
Yep.
Thursday night, guys, ESPN Plus, someone that I'm super high on the show. I don't think B was able to watch his last contest. Artur the Wolf B. Arslanov. This guy's a goon. 16-0, 14 knockouts. He's fighting a guy named Jonathan Inoue. I'm not familiar with him. That's Thursday night, ESPN Plus. Where are they running out of Canada, B? Is it Montreal or Quebec City? That one place where there's like people eating dinner. You know how they do that in Canada?
It's in Quebec City.
Yeah. So, all right, that's Thursday night, ESPN Plus. Friday night, there's a card in PR. Headlining it is Joshua James Bagan. He's 10-0 with 4 KOs. There's 2 names from 2 different places. There's a guy named Haskell Rhodes. Sounds like a fake name. Or Trevor Thomson. The 2 places say 2 guys. So one of those guys pulled out, no Diddy. And one of those guys is replacing the guy. So I don't know who. That's a card. It's a big card from PR. Friday, guys, the Zone. Saturday, October 19th, this PBC, after a fucking year of nothing, is coming with their first quote unquote free card. Luckily for B and I, it's our guy, Timmy Zoo.
Yeah.
Bakram Murtazalayev, 22-0, 16 KOs. A goon for the IBF title versus Tim Zoo, 24-1, 17 KOs. Ooh, calling that one loss is tough for me because of how it went down, you know? But Tim Zoo's getting right back after a brutal cut with a champion. He's a fighter's fighter. He's a throwback. He wants to fight often. Talk to me about this fight, B. What's going to happen?
Well, I think we see Tim Zoo is going to pick up right where the cut left off. I think he's going to be in the pocket, doing what he does, throwing punches, picking shots off that are coming back at him. Murtalazayev is good, but I don't think he's going to be enough for Tim Zoo. I think Tim Zoo separates himself. I actually don't even think this is going to be that close, to tell you the truth. I think Tim Zoo maybe shows a little sign of a couple rounds of ring rust in the beginning. Tim Zoo's out to prove something. Tim Zoo is a driven, focused guy. This is not your typical fighter's son or athlete's son. I'm going to go on a limb. Tim Zoo stops him in 8. Do we have a line on this, Billy?
Yeah, Irish Billy. Do your job.
10.5.
10.5 is corny. It's the cheat code. I mean, there's usually.
They're basically saying this is going to go the distance.
Look, I think Bakram Murtazalayev is a bit like Ruslan Provodnikov, cut from that cloth, a goon. I think I don't want to use the word competitive. I think it's fun for a little bit.
Okay.
But I believe that Tim Zoo's on another level. It's my opinion that Tim Zoo is elite. His chance to show it at the highest level, he suffered one of the worst cuts in the history of the sport. I thought he would have ended up doing Fundora dirty, and he would have got packed up.
Broke his face with that cut. Sure.
Yeah. I think it's fun through about 6. The levels come up, but these guys are cut from a different cloth, as B and I refer to it as the Eastern Bloc. I think Murtalazayev gets busted up. I think his eyes are inflamed. I think there's cuts, bleeding. but I think it goes the distance. 117, 111, Tim Tszyu, 116, 114, 116, 112 on a card, 117, 111 on 2 cards. Billy Betts takes Tim Tszyu and the over.
All right, so here's what I'm looking at.
Is there anything interesting on the undercard? I know, you know.
I didn't look, but what I was going to say though. Hang on. Murtal Azaev's best win is Jack Kulke.
Yeah,
he's boxed 100 professional rounds. His debut was 10 years ago. All right, Tim Tszyu's got 141 rounds, and obviously the better competition.
Yes.
And his debut is 2 years later. I think Timofey.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be I think they're going to stop this fucking fight. I'm changing it. They're stopping this thing in the what did I say? The 7th, 8th. They're stopping this thing. He's going to beat the shit out of this guy. Yeah, he's going to beat the shit out of this guy. Tim on a mission.
I think he beats the shit out of him, and it goes the distance.
It goes the distance.
I think about the first half of the fight, you could see some fireworks because neither guy.
So you're telling Billy take over? Are you betting on this, William?
Well, he gets hotsy-totsy. That's the thing. Look at his face. Well, he wants action.
It has been a little dry spell recently.
And it's been losing, or it hasn't been betting?
Bindle sticks.
A series of unfortunate events and losses has caused it to.
Were any of them Philadelphia teams?
Yeah. I stopped betting on Philadelphia teams.
I'm saying you bet with your heart. You bet with your heart and not your head.
You can't do that. You can never touch your.
Yeah.
I have the on the card. You just want me to rattle it off? We don't have to do breakdowns or anything. Justin Valoria versus Deal Olguin, super feather. Danier Perro versus Willie Jake Jr. Sounds like your boy Willie Hutchinson. Willie Jake.
That's Willie Jake.
Cesar Mateo Tapia versus Endry Saavedra.
Hendry.
Which fucking undercard is more of the pits? This or Usyk?
I don't know.
Can I tell you? I don't know. You know, these aren't things. We're honest with our listeners. I don't know any of these motherfuckers are.
No, me neither. This is bad.
Well, this is rough.
Hey guys, maybe you can find someone that you decide to root for later on in life. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What?
Is there anything left?
I'm just staring at that hunk of shit of a card, thinking. I'm thinking something's going to change on my phone.
Oh, okay.
This PBC has brass balls being a year.
Where do they find these guys?
Where I don't. How do me and you not know 8 of the 4?
Yeah, I don't know.
The guys in the 4. I know everybody. I mean, it's Justin Valoria, Brian Valoria's like 16-year-old son.
It's his illegitimate son.
I don't know any. I mean,
we got
middle featherweights, heavyweights, a welterweight, and a middleweight card. This PBC is leaking oil. They're leaking oil.
Speaking of leaking oil,
yeah,
we got one from the Midnight Rider.
Okay. Oh, do we?
Mailbag. Yeah,
Midnight Rider. Dusty.
Yeah, he says, I was listening to the latest episode of your show in my car. I was driving to pick my son up from a sleepover. When he got into the car, he heard Vinny's voice and immediately told me he was scared. Thanks for the Bivol Beterbiev breakdown and for the good show. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, man. Thanks for listening.
Sorry. We got I think that's
sorry about this child.
We can't
do nothing about it, man.
Okay, so we got our old friend AV Julian is our most loyal listener and writer-inner.
Yeah.
And also the future producer of the show.
Yeah.
Why did he offer his?
No,
Billy's trying to dump. Billy's trying to dump this show.
He's trying to put it and dump it on Julian. What a jerk!
All right, so he titles it "Astonished." Beterbiev-Bivol, while fundamentally classic, was oddly unsettling. I had it a draw and would not have been mad if Bivol was slightly favored on any card. Bivol exceeded expectations for most, while Beterbiev performed under, in my opinion. Bivol made the better adjustments and had the better game plan to disrupt Beterbiev's momentum, letting his hands fly at every attempt of Beterbiev to close the gap.
There's
And
there's an
even
asterisk. There's what I'm talking about. People
huh?
think that stop and
Yeah,
pop was they were all landing.
and
They
even
weren't.
in and even in spots when he did. Did they both seem distracted to either of you? The rematch, of course, imperative. Did they seem distracted?
I think they both know they're so good that
Yeah,
they were both fighting.
yeah,
I'm not going to use the word cautiously. I think they were fighting very intelligently, which leads to that view of
sure.
of some sort of view that they one or both was fighting cautiously, and that's not what I saw. I
If
saw a
if
chess
if
match.
if you want my prediction for the next one, I think Beterbiev lets it hang out a little bit more. I didn't see him hurt, staggered, or anything this fight. And I think we see an
That's not a guy that you want to fight knowing he knows you can't
you
hurt
can't
him.
hurt him.
That's
Exactly.
not it
So
started to happen in the second half of the fight. What
precisely
Brendan is telling you is he thinks the second half of that fight will be
is
the whole
the whole
it will
fight.
continue and be the 12 if it goes that way.
And by Bivol's, and I hate doing this, body language and sort of his comments towards I think Bivol knows it too. So I don't think Bivol will fight the same way. If he does, I think it ends quicker than what I earlier predicted. But thanks for the the uh the email. We got our friend Ifsal Maluk. He's written in before. He says, "What's up, guys? Hope you're well." What's up, buddy?
What up,
He
Ethan?
says, "Firstly, that was a great fight with a gutsy performance from both guys. Looked like Beterbiev's pressure was getting to Bivol in the middle rounds, especially with those sickening body shots. But then Bivol came back with some vicious combos of his own. This is what you're talking about. Snapping out of survival mode. I think a younger Beterbiev might have had the engine intensity to get to KO TKO. Also, I feel like people are taking the corner advice of you need to knock him out too literally / negatively.
Oh,
To
I'm
me,
glad he wrote in with this.
me too.
We didn't okay. I'm sorry, B. I'm
To,
sorry.
to me, to me, that didn't mean they thought he could only win by KO at
Correct.
that point, but more to get
Correct.
him to step the pressure up and win the
Correct.
championships rounds, which he
Correct.
did as a result. Also, the fight. Regards, Ifsal. By the way, they say that to Beterbiev in every fight.
Guys, they tell him that all the time, and lots of trainers say different trainers, different fighters say it a lot. It's to it's not we're losing, we're down big. I'm not saying that can happen too. We're down big. You need to
Right.
knock this guy out. And they mean it. Yo, you need a knockout. Guys like there's certain guys that need certain motivations, or that can be code in that camp for go let your shit fly. You know, it's you're talking about a guy, two guys that their second language is English. Okay.
Yeah,
Mark Ramsey's first language is French. Arthur's is it? I don't know if there's a Chechenian language or if it's just Russian that he speaks. You know what I mean?
he
He speaks
speaks
he speaks
bear.
Berbiev. He speaks Bear.
Yeah,
So you have two guys. So now you're dealing with language, and you're dealing with very simple instructions from anyone that's not Russian. You know what I mean?
mhm,
There's not complicated. If there's a complicated um, directive, it's done via the Russian guy. You know what I mean? If Mark
yeah,
Ramsey's trying to tell him something complicated, it's
right.
interpreted. If Mark Ramsey's trying to say jab right hand, Arthur understands that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Knock him the fuck out is go hurt this guy. Go do something. Get these rounds.
right.
We need these rounds, which is in a close fight. You do. I don't need. I'll be honest with you. Seeing it frustrated me, but it was so silly. It didn't get me mad. Like
Right.
that being your argument. If your argument for who won this fight is his corner called for him to knock him out, like I immediately dismiss you. So while it was annoying when I saw it, I also got over it real quick
Right,
because it's
right, right.
dismissive and it doesn't have anything to do with the scorecard, with my scorecard, how I saw it, and Archer coming on late and sweeping
I
those
mean,
rounds.
why would that again though? This also is something that doesn't factor into judges scoring. They're not listening to the cornerman. You know what I mean? Like,
right, of course.
so if you're gonna score a fight, you have to score it the way a judge would score it. Otherwise, you're not doing it right.
Right.
The next email is from Kevin Brown, and Kevin,
What up,
this is
Kevin?
long, man. I'm gonna edit this down a little bit. He says, "Hey, salute to hitting 100 shows. Thanks, buddy. He's been with the show for years and appreciate the now weekly hit of boxing talk."
Thank you.
He gives us a full breakdown of the card, but we don't have enough time for that. He says, the main event was fantastic for anybody who appreciates boxing fundamentals and skill.
I agree.
Two technically brilliant guys who were well matched.
Agreed.
Was interesting early on. They kept clashing with feet. Looked possibly deliberate by Beterbiev. I didn't even notice that. As most people thought, Bivol started well and sharp, getting in and out and catching Arthur with good clean shots. I thought Beterbiev won the fight by a round. That's how I have it. I thought it, but I didn't score it, but I had him very close, razor thin.
This is you, Brendan, or this is Kevin?
This is me agreeing with Kevin.
Okay. That's how I had it. 115, 113, Beterbiev.
I thought his pressure and sustained control of the ring had Bivol moving back, circling, while taking a lot of shots on the gloves and arms.
Agreed.
Bivol at times did land flashy shots and done some great work off good counterpunch, but I thought in a few rounds he at best rallied to make it a 10-10 round. That's interesting. It is a 10-point must system, so there has to be 10 points. Good. I hate when people say, "Oh, it's 9-9."
Right.
No, it's a 10-point must.
Right.
Bivol was certainly more accurate, landing roughly the same number of punches from less thrown. But in my opinion, Beterbiev wasn't missing with wasted punches. He's busy trying to break Bivol's guard and open up the guard of the body. I think he hurt Bivol possibly in the 7th. Yes. And again with a body shot a few rounds later. The calls of the calls of a quote robbery really pissed me off. More so because guys involved in the sport at the highest level were using the word mouthpiece Hearn in parentheses. I would accept scoring it a point or two to either fighter. It was a close fight, and some of them rounds were razor thin.
Agreed.
That one judge's scorecard by 4 was a bit over the top, but these guys should be careful with their language. Agreed.
Kevin, you're right. I'll tell you what, Kevin, but again, a razor thin round goes one other way that you get this 116.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I get originally looking at it and going, that's egregious. If you calm down and think about it and say, I think a draw is fair. I think 115, 113, either way is fair.
Right.
Then you're saying there wasn't one of 12 rounds that were saying a razor thin that could flip. It doesn't work that way, guys.
He says, hopefully they have another dance in 6 months. I would watch that level of fighting anytime, any place.
Me
P.S. The use of no Diddy cracks me up. Keep it up, KEOTB. Kev. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kev. That's a really good letter. Hey, I don't mind if these two fight each other until they retire.
Right.
If they fight 4 times.
To me, it was a lot of fun.
Me too. If they go, 4 to 6 months trilogy or 4 times and then both retire, I'm in.
Yo también.
Is anyone out there? The winner of David Morrell Benavidez, is that fun for either one of these guys? Maybe not. I'm interested in what Canelo says. Nothing has come out yet, because he went to Japan.
He went to Japan, yeah.
Yeah, so is he, I want the Bivol rematch, and he never said I want the winner. I want the Bivol rematch if he wins. We already called it. We said, well, he's never fighting a threat again. So he knows Bivol can't. He may, if Bivol wanted to take it for another bag, he may fight him, not because Bivol isn't great, but because he doesn't think he can knock him out.
Right.
Whereas Arthur, might be the guy that could stop Canelo.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the size advantage. And I believe before this fight, they asked Beterbiev about going to cruiser, and he didn't. He said he'd like to.
Yeah. You're right. He did. He said, I might like to, you know what I mean? But
it doesn't have to cut weight and just goes up there around 200 pounds.
I just want to say that there's such great guys and such great sportsmen and such great, mouthpieces for the sport. I mean, how classy were both of them afterwards?
Oh yeah.
Both
and
of
these
them
guys don't like each other.
No, and they both gave each other credit. Both kind of said, like, it wasn't my greatest performance. Whatever happened, I was okay with. You know what I mean? Bivol did not say I got robbed. Eddie was losing his mind. Bivol was like, Arthur a good fighter. They
Eddie's
just
had a tough. Eddie's had a tough
said
couple of months.
tough couple months, tough summer into the fall right now. Eddie needs to get his lick back from somebody.
Hopefully, Boots and Bam give him a good show next month.
Yeah, we think that he's going to. So, all right, guys, the Knock 'em Out the Box t-shirts, jmtstore.com. I'm on Instagram at IG. What an idiot. I'm zapped. On IG, Box Cutter Pazzi. We're trying to post more and often on the Instagram. What is it?
On the Instagram?
On the Instagram.
You old lady. I'm on the Instagrams.
No, what is our Instagram?
At KOTB Boxing.
I'm at Vinny_Paz on Twitter, at Box Cutter Pazzi on IG, at KEOTB Boxing. We're gonna try to post more on there. And what I've been doing is when I do boxing posts on my shit, I'm trying to do the collaboration thing. So B just has to hit the button, and then all the posts go there and it'll drive more stuff to cool. I put up like cool little videos or classic fights or people's birthday or anniversaries. So if B is sleeping, he doesn't hit the button and then you guys lose out. You know what I mean? So
Billy has access to. And you can find me at I_no_that_kid on IG
stupid.
at KillerB24.
Did you hear me forget? I go, it's B is at the Killer B. I don't know what the number is.
The KillerB24 on
Is 24 significant?
And yes.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll tell you off air.
All right.
And you can write us at kotbboxing@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube at KOTB Podcast. And I want to thank everybody for I didn't, when we first started this thing, we didn't know what we were doing. It was behind a Patreon wall.
We still don't.
Yeah, we still kind of.
Billy still hates. Billy hates us more.
I'm gonna pull up the first. I'll find the OG footage.
OG footage.
First episode.
First ep. Yeah, we'll release the first ep and for free. And if you want the 2 through 8, you gotta pay us the old Clamorino.
100 episodes, man. Thank you for listening to us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. I actually want to really thank Billy and Pablo for putting up with me and you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. The numbers keep going up, you know what I mean? But tell your friends when people talking about podcasts and boxing. Yo, these two idiots from the East Coast, they bust balls.
We like to talk a lot of shit.
We do, but we feel like in terms of boxing podcasts, I'm never going to say we're better than a pro fighter or we're better than a trainer. But as far as people that are fans of the sport, I'll put our shit against anybody.
Me too. I'm proud of the work we do here.
I don't talk like that about my music. I don't talk like that about anything, but I will absolutely stand on business, feet on land, that we're better than any show when it comes to the two idiot friends talking about the sport.
Yelling about a sport.
Yelling about it and getting hype. We will be back next week. Things are starting. Fights are being made, man. Like they're trying to get stuff made for the fall into the holidays.
Right.
So we thought we were hitting the fall of the fall, but we're not, and stuff's getting made for the early next year. So hopefully we have some news on other stuff too. I think we're going to be going to Boots. The three of us are going to be going to the Boots and the BAM card. I think so.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, we'll talk to y'all soon. Cop those shirts over at jmtstore.com. Knock them out, the box shirts.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
We'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.
Good night, Billy.
Oh, Billy, say good night.
Good night, Billy.
Thank you.
God, 100 shows in, we still fuck it up.